It's Tuesday, 2/22/2022, and we've got two broadcasts for you. Enough of my bad puns and all that, though, let's get right to it. BSR is down under and ready to crown two champions. I promise that might be the last time, I'm not totally sure. Regardless, strap in and come along for 4 more BSR Trophy Tuesday sprints. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Mount Panorama Circuit. I'm Andrew Cardona IV with JP Costa alongside, and before I welcome you in here, JP, I do want to clarify. Of course, we are crowning 3 champions today, technically, but one of them is already decided. Let's be honest. Jason Cooper, he's winning the title in Pro. It's a matter of the other two, I did it again, the other two that are open to be claimed in Pro-Am and Am, and it's going to be a lot of fun. JP, welcome to Australia.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited, quite emotional, I'd say. Well, it's the final 4 races, Andrew, we're going to have for these guys on the MX-5. You know, it has been a long journey, 33 or 32 races, if I'm not mistaken, so far. So, I mean, these guys have been with us since December 28th, if I'm not mistaken. So it has been a long road. And as you mentioned, you know, 3 champions to be crowned here today. Jason Cooper with a commanding lead in the Pro status, Liam Silkstone in the Pro-Am, and Adam Mitchinson in the Amateur. So it's, you know, it's quite different. It's quite a big gap between first and second, but it's still very exciting to take a look, as you can see right here. And a lot of battles, Andrew, inside the classes are still not over, as the battle for second and fourth in the Pro class, the battle for second in the Pro-Am class, and the battle for second as well in the Amateur class.
Yeah, there's still a lot to be decided in these standings, and I know this only shows up to 20th position overall, which does not encompass the entirety of the amateur battle, but we can dictate to you. That's the great thing about broadcasts, is there is video and audio. Now, the amateur battle, admittedly, is pretty far apart. All of these battles are pretty far apart, but I don't think they're decided just yet. Adam Mitchinson can still fall. I think Craig Schill can still amass a good bit of points today. It's all a matter of Mitchinson being here, and if I'm looking through practice times, I don't yet see Adam Mitchinson on the list. I could be missing him, but JP, I do not see him. So that is easily your big storyline of the amateur class. In Pro-Am, you do see Liam Silkstone and Paul Donkin are quite a ways apart, and that's going to be tough for Paul Donkin to overcome, but there's only a couple of Pro-Am drivers. Actually, I think only one Pro-Am driver that's won it all this season, and it is Paul Donkin. So, if anybody's going to do it, it is the couple of drivers, and similarly, Craig Schill is the only amateur driver to have won overall this season. So, again, if anybody is going to overcome these lengthy gaps in Pro-Am and Am, it is the couple of drivers that we're looking at with a chance to do it. Paul Donkin, of course, in Pro-Am, and Craig Schill in Am. And you know what? Let's not gloss over the fact that Douglas Stewart is only 5 extra points behind Paul Donkin, JP. That is very close.
It's extremely close. I mean, as I mentioned, you know, the battle for second is definitely not over. And as you mentioned, Paul Donkin winning 2 overall races, that's really good for him. And it brings the possibility of, you know, just him bringing the best of him on the mountain. And obviously, Silkstone could have lots of bad luck. You know, it could just not be his track. He could not be on pace. So it's still a lot to be decided. 188 points is the difference. So, you know, Donkin could really catch up. But also, he has to worry about Douglas Stewart right behind him. Only 5 points difference. It's going to be really interesting, and I'm luckily not in the shoes of Paul Donkin at this moment.
A lot to talk about certainly today with points battles, and we will follow up on all of those throughout the day, but let's take a look, of course, at Bathurst, at Mount Panorama Circuit. JP, this is a hard one to explain. You know, this isn't one of those places that everybody knows because it is so difficult to get around, but I think everybody is relatively familiar with it. Everybody is kind of like, yeah, I know Bathurst, it's tough, and I can't drive it, right? Or something, some derivative thereof. But Bathurst is really, really fun. There's not too many other ways to put it. In the right car, solo, it is a fun racetrack. Now, in the wrong car, or even in the right car with a field of cars around you, that, you know, things change a little bit, but Bathurst is such a wonderful piece of racetrack, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys struggle today, certainly.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure this is one of those racetracks that you either love or you hate. So it's either, you know, a track that you're really looking forward to, even if you don't have the pace, you know, just due to the challenge of the mountain, or you just absolutely hate it due to, you know, the proximity of the walls, of the possibility of everything going wrong. But, you know, it's just a really fun track. And looking at the track map, you can see after the dipper, Andrew, that's my favorite part. That's just all about commitment. And that's the thing that I love the most about this racetrack, you know, just building that commitment, building that confidence that you have within your car, and just extracting the, you know, the pace from it is just so much fun.
Yeah, some of the text on there might be a little bit small, but if you know Bathurst, you know what we're talking about here. Skyline all the way down through Forest Elbow, like you said, it is all about commitment and being sure-footed, certainly. Coming over Skyline, dropping down, and navigating that braking zone before you turn in initially for the dipper and then actually turn in for the dipper. It's all just so much fun. Skyline, the S's, the dipper, and then kind of the lower S's down to Forest Elbow. It's just... if you get it right, it feels so good, and if you get it wrong, you're going to be wishing you get it right the next lap. You know, you're going to do everything you can to just try and get that one little bit of racetrack correct the next time through. And of course, everything in the earlier stages of the lap, too, sets you up for all of that, because if you have a bad run through the cutting, you're going to be slow up Griffin's Mount and up through the parks, Reed Park, Sullivan Park, Mafilamy Park, and if you mess any of those up, you're on edge. You are flying through those parks. It is mostly one continuous kind of left-hander that sweeps on through there, so if you miss any of that up, or mess any of that up, it is going to be a rough time, and you could certainly bend your car. Of course, the chase and Murray's Corner wrapped up the lap, and that's a whole lot of fun. We could go on and on about each of these 23 corners of Bathurst, but let's instead get into qualifying. Jason Cooper leading the way. That is no surprise.
Absolutely not. We kind of do expect the number one at the pole position. Currently, he's nearly 0.4 of a second ahead of Michael Seal, which is a decent gap. It's a big gap, a strong gap to have over second place, and then Ben Williams, in third place, 0.4 of a second. We have, well, right behind Jason Cooper, Andrew, we have a familiar face and a familiar livery in the number 23. He's currently in 5th place.
Chris Knox looking pretty good as qualifying gets on its way. Liam Silkstone is sitting in the 6th position overall, which is on pole for Pro-Am. And if you're looking down to amateur, currently your pole sitter there is Adam Fox. How about that for the 966? Now looking through, and I still do not see a number 920 car of Adam Mitchinson. This could be a big storyline in amateur today, depending on how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. If Adam Mitchinson doesn't show up for any of those 4 races, his lead on the championship could definitely be challenged. Obviously, it has all to come down to luck. Even Fiona Simmons, I'm pretty sure, could snatch the title. It would be very tight. It would have to be pretty much a perfect race, perfect 4 races, but it's definitely in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, we're talking about it as a possibility, certainly. We don't know exactly how it's all going to go. We don't know exactly how safe Adam Mitchinson is. We can only tell you that the gap is, let's see. Let's pull this back up. It's somewhere in the nature of, well, nearly 300 points. So yes, that does sound like it's pretty decided for Adam Mitchinson, but we just don't know. And in Pro-Am, well, the guys who are racing for a championship, they all seem to be here. Of course, we saw Liam Silkstone, and we do see Douglas Stewart out on the racetrack in car 579. You know who I don't see yet, JP? Unless I'm overlooking him, I don't see Paul Donkin.
He didn't set a lap time. His name is on the ticker, but it didn't set a lap time just yet, so I'm not pretty sure if he's in this session.
Yep, you're right. We'll see what Donkin can do later on. Obviously, you're not going to get a qualifying lap in at this point. That's way too late.
Yeah, way too late. And obviously, his closest competition is Douglas Stewart. So if Douglas can, keep his car on the racetrack throughout race number 1, he's definitely going to get that position over Paul Donkin. So it's already a bad start for Paul, but, it's 4 races, so he has 3 races back to essentially get those points back and essentially challenge still, but it's going to be off to a bad start.
And how about second in this championship, Andy McEwen? Not the greatest qualifying effort just yet, but he's going to get some draft here down Conrad. And, as Douglas actually goes into the grass there, Andy McEwen has put one heck of a season together. I don't think in the first 2 or 3 rounds it really felt like it was going to be a potential championship season for McEwen. And he's not going to get the championship, admittedly, but he was so quiet, so consistent, and came on really strong later on in the season, JP. Even getting a win in, not each of the last 2 weeks. Was it each of the last 2 weeks? It was. Each of the last 2 weeks. That's right. It was back-to-back races between the final race at Silverstone and the first race at Brands Hatch GP. So that comeback, certainly for Andy McEwen, putting a late season together has been really nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And 9th, really good improvement for him. Unfortunately, still 1.2 seconds down on his competition. But, obviously he's second place, so he's the best of the rest. But throughout the last few races, you could really see an uptick in performance from the number 4 car. You could really see him challenging Jason Cooper on those first few races when it's all down to qualifying. So it was a really good, run from him. And also from the number 11, Tom Griffiths has also put a consistent and strong season. He has 2 overall wins as well. and only a few points behind McEwen. I'm pretty sure that's only 14 points behind, so it's
Yep.
still yet to be decided between those two who's going to be the best of the rest. But those two guys have put an amazingly strong season. If you disconsider Jason Cooper, who's pretty much an alien, they would be an interesting battle for the title.
And other drivers that are in that category, I think of, being eligible for second place and certainly having a chance. Casper DeCourt, he's one of them. We didn't see him at Brands Hatch last week, so we've missed a little bit of that 5 car. In fact, I don't think we saw any 5-star motorsport drivers last week aside from Jason Cooper in the number 1 car. But I believe Lars is back in the field. Yes, Lars Fischer just went 4th on the board. Casper DeCourt's trying to set a lap time. We'll see if he can get that lap time in. But you've also got to look to a guy by the name of... Yeah, Adam Delmont. For some reason, I had to check my thoughts there. Adam Delmont currently in the pit lane. He's looking pretty good, too. He's going to have a chance to battle with these guys, certainly. 5th in the points coming in. Only 4 more points behind Casper DeCourt, who, admittedly, is a ways back of Andy McEwen and Tom Griffiths, but is within range.
Yeah, absolutely. It's less than, just a bit, less than 100 points between those two. So it's definitely could be settled up here in the mountains today. So, you can say there's a 4-car battle for second place in the Pro Championship. And that's really exciting. Having those big names, McEwen, Griffiths, Casper DeCourt, and Adam Delmont fighting for second place in the championship. That's going to be huge. And I cannot wait to see how that's going to translate on to on-track racing.
Qualifying wrapping up, and it looks like Casper will get a chance to set a lap here as he follows Chris Knox and his teammate Jason Cooper. Let's go on board with the car number 5. Good run through the dipper. Chris Knox is off, though, into the wall. Pretty good. Gets by him. And Casper might just be able to use a bit of that draft off of Jason to get a good lap time here. It's going to be close. He might just be within range, and Jason might be able to pedal back a little bit and give him that slipstream down the Conrad straight into the chase.
Yeah, absolutely. That will be the team play to get the number 5 up into position. He already has Lars Fischer in 4th place, so if the number 5 can get within the top 5, essentially, it will be huge for him, especially because Delmont is in 5th place, so we're going to have to see. And look at the slipstream. Look at the effect. Probably Jason Cooper lift off a little bit of the throttle, but here he comes. He's probably going to get out of the way of his teammate. No, they're going to stick position, so probably going to give a little bit of slipstream in the final 2 corners, Andrew, and that should really help out the number 5.
In Pro-Am, Liam Silkstone will take pole. In Am, you'll have Adam Fox on pole unless Roger Morton can do something here, but I think he already finished his final lap. And it's into Murray's now for Casper DeCourt. Can he put together a good qualifying run? Across the line, it's a 2:29.881. That's pretty solid. That is second.
Oh, and nearly took pole from his teammate. What a lap.
That is a good lap there for Casper DeCourt. Obviously, the draft helping a lot, but solid effort there out of car number 5. There's a look at Liam Silkstone. Oh, well, he actually just towed, it looks like, back to the pit lane. James Clark is out there wrapping up a lap. In fact, there he is out of Murray's. Duncan Cope is still out there. Lars Fischer just went back up into 4th spot, so grabbing a spot back away after his teammate moved him down, and Duncan Cope will finish up his run and come into the pit lane. So about 80 seconds to go, and it looks like everybody is done.
It looks like this is going to be our field still, as you mentioned, a minute 20, but yeah, this is our grid. This is the final qualifying session we had for the MX-5s, Andrew.
And you can see the full schedule here as we went through it, beginning, as you said earlier, back on December 28th, 2021, and now carrying into 2022 by 2 full months. This time next week, it's going to be March. Can you believe that?
That's just insane, isn't it? I mean, we started with them in 2021, but it certainly doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, the beginnings of this year have gone by rather quickly, and we're already talking about the 3rd month of the year. Wow. Yeah, it's been a great season of racing. 9 rounds, 4 races apiece. That's 36 total races once we finish up here tonight. And, of course, we did the exact same schedule with the touring cars on Thursdays. These 2 seasons coming to an end is going to be very, very exciting. And certainly I think the touring cars have a better battle, admittedly. But I think both series are going to be a lot of fun to watch between today and Thursday, and to see how this season wraps up. So just a few moments left here in qualifying before we head on over to our grid. Let's check out the weather conditions then for race number 1. You can see 68 degrees Fahrenheit in the air, 70 on the track in JP. That's checking in just under 20 degrees Celsius, I do believe.
Yeah, that's quite a chill racetrack, I guess, even for Australia. We kind of expect the temperatures to be really, really high, but I guess those clouds are kind of, just taming it a little bit. So it should help a few of the drivers, but it could also, could hurt a few of them depending on the setups up the mountain. Andrew, we kind of know that's a tricky spot if you don't have the tires up to temperature.
So it's actually just over 20 degrees. I'll take that one back. 68 degrees even is 20 degrees, it looks like, Celsius. So the air temp is just over 20 by a decimal, and the track temp is probably what? Maybe another degree up to 21 degrees. Yeah, 21.111. That's not too bad. We have a grid of cars getting ready for race number 1. Let's go ahead and look through them all. Starting on pole, you will find that of, well, Jason Cooper. I don't know how you can argue with car number 1. He starts from pole in race number 1. Casper DeCourt will start from second. Starting third, you'll find Michael Seal. Starting fourth, it will be Lars Fischer. Starting fifth, you'll find the 75 Ben Williams. Sixth will be Adam Delmont. Go on back to row number 4. You've got Tom Griffiths, Chris Knox, and then in ninth position, you find your Pro-Am pole sitter, Liam Silkstone, about to claim a championship potentially as well, with Andy McEwen alongside.
11th place will go the way of James Clark in his number 20. The number 7 of James New is going to be lining up on his outside in 12th place. 13th place will go to Adam Fox for our amateur pole position. The number 13 of Nick Clemens is going to start on his outside in 14th place. 15th will go the ways of Roger Morton in the 922, and the 999 of Mark Oliver in 16th place for an all-out amateur row. Row number 9 is going to be Douglas Stewart in the inside line and Duncan Cope on the outside line in 18th place. And row number 10, Andrew, will be Glenn Humberstone on the inside and Fiona Simmons in 20th place.
Starting 21st, you'll find Alistair Hatcher in the 964 car. Starting 22nd, it's Colin Sansom, the year 1 teammate to Andy McEwen. 23rd, you'll find pro Thor Tullo alongside other pro Lee Holmes. Then it's Nathan Davies starting 25th. Craig Shull 26th. We'll wrap this up. 27th, Paul Duncan. 28th, Michael Leeson. Starting 29th, it's Julian Schroer. 29 cars then ready to go for round 30, well, race 33 and round 9 of 9. This is it, the final opening green flag of the season. A hungry field of Miatas now work up their way up the mountain straight, up to the mountain roads of Bathurst. Boy, look at all of those 5-star Motorsport orange noses out front. 3 of them in the top 4.
That's just an absolutely amazing sight, dominating throughout the season. And now, Andrew, that's the tricky part. That's the most difficult part of the course, just going up the mountain in lap number 1. You can see already a few battles, looks like in turn number 2. You can see a few drivers trying to look for different positions to tackle on this uphill section. And, well, looks like we're going to have a few side-by-side battles.
Still on point for Jason Cooper. Good run going for the 1 car. Everybody else comes on through. And we do have a couple of spins. Lee Holmes is around, collecting Alistair Hatcher, it looks like. Oh, boy. A parking lot in the cutting. 388
like
Tech teammates. Oh, no. My goodness. Glenn Humberstone, Alistair Hatcher, and Lee Holmes. And they are stuck together. Finally, Alistair gets going. Humberstone is still stuck. Lee, you've got to reverse. There we go. Oh, not what you want to see.
Absolutely not what you want to see. Unfortunately for them, the worst start possible for the team. But, well, definitely not the worst start possible for the top 2. And you can see they're kind of just trying to break away as teammates. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see something similar to what we saw in qualifying. You know, Casper DeCourt and Jason Cooper just trying to work themselves together. And hopefully for them, well, they're hoping that Lars Fischer will catch up to them. But you can see the rest of the field. Well, it looks like they survived the mountain, Andrew. Now they come downhill to, well, a simpler part of the racetrack.
I wouldn't say simpler. Coming down Conrad Straight, you build up a lot of speed, build up a lot of slipstream as well. Down to the chase, things can get pretty hairy. And we are expecting just 6 laps for this race. That's 6 laps for each race. That's going to be insane. Just 6 laps apiece. Down to the chase for the first time. Everybody in tow. 1 pass there. Chris Knox being passed up by Tom Griffiths, it looks like. As everybody will work on down to the final couple of corners. And Murray's will end the lap. This is going to be a whole lot of fun, I think, as these draft battles get going. Tires come up to temp, and Lars Fischer a move there to get back in front of Ben Williams.
Looks like he got that move done. At least they're going to go side by side into the main straightaway. And it looks like into Hell Corner. It looks like Lars is going to have that position. No, Jason Cooper, Andrew, dropped all the way down to 4th place.
Right.
So, Yeah, so a bit weird. I kind of missed what happened,
And
but
you know,
well,
he missed the back end of the chase that final lap of qualifying. When we were
oh
on board
yeah.
with Casper DeCourt, I wonder if it was something similar because he was still leading down into the chase. So I wonder if it was on exit there like we saw in qualifying.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, he's just going to be dropping to 4th place. Luckily, just behind a teammate, Lars Fischer. So that's going to be interesting. Michael Seal is splitting these teammates, and Andrew, that's a really good performance for him, you know, so far. And I wouldn't rule him out of an overall victory just yet. As you can see, Chris Knox battling. Looks like that's going to be Tom Griffiths. No, that's Andy McEwen. So they're going to go side by side into turn number 3. The cutting, no, looks like they're going to back away. But Chris Knox has a look down the inside, but the side's better of it. Looks like these two are also going to be on a race-long battle.
Yeah, I think when you get packed up in these cars at Bathurst anyways, when you kind of break up into groups, almost like a Daytona, Talladega, and NASCAR, you kind of just end up in that group unless something big happens ahead and you're able to draft forward. It's hard to make up time at Bathurst and catch a group that is drafting ahead of you. It's easy to make up time on a driver solo, but when they're in a group and drafting like that, it gets a whole lot tougher. Chris Knox, a good run there. Into Skyline now. Yeah, first onboard through the dipper. This should be fun.
This is fun because on qualifying, you pretty much have a clear side of the dipper of this downhill section. But obviously, when you're behind someone, you know, things get difficult because your view is obstructed. And obviously, Andrew, Chris Knox got that a bit wrong in qualifying. And oh, looks like we're going to have a contact. And is that Ben Williams, who just has an absolutely amazing save?
Delmont gave him a bit of a shot in the rear there. Delmont and Griffiths now will be side by side down the mountain. James Neve and Liam Silkstone, they just swapped spots. Neve up into the top 10 now. Silkstone dropping. And Adam Fox, actually. We're about to have a pass here. One of the amateur drivers passing one of the Pro-Am drivers. And we've seen that a few times this season, but I don't know that we expected it on lap 2 here at Bathurst. Back up front, 5-star teammates battling. Lars Fischer just went off as he got by Michael Seal. There's going to be a lot of action.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like this top 4 is not going to break away so soon. Jason Cooper is definitely going to hope that he can pass the number 57 to make, well, to make himself a part of his team and hopefully lock out the podium. But that's going to be really interesting as Casper DeCourt sets the fastest lap of the race, but quickly gets, well, overtaken by Jason Cooper, 2:30.5. That's already a really fast lap time, as looks like we're going to have a side-by-side action into Hell's Corner. And yeah, that's Andy McEwen, looks like, going down the inside of that Delma, but couldn't make the move stick. A few more battles side by side. And Andrew, Hell's Corner is also in a really easy corner to make a mistake, to just go wide and lose a lot of time uphill. Looks like the number that's 9076 of Colin Sansom had some trouble in the main straightaway.
He'll tow back to the pit lane and probably call that race done. Here we go. Michael Seal up the inside, maybe of Lars Fischer. Took a look at it anyways. These guys still ahead of Jason Cooper, who is sorted into the 4th position. You can see Griffiths and Williams further behind, and that side-by-side will get sorted out, but one side-by-side that I don't think will, well, I guess it will. Chris Knox sits back in behind Andy McEwen one more time. Another battle further back. Michael Leese and Craig Schill up to the quarry, and, well, Craig Schill backs out of that one.
Yeah, well, kind of smartly, I'd say, not going side-by-side too early on the race. We're nearly halfway there, but, you know, it's still quite early to go side-by-side and risk it all, especially on race number 1. So now you can see Craig Schill just holding on a little bit. You know, he's battling for 21st place against Michael Leese, so still plenty of time, Andrew. Still plenty of time to learn how his competition drives, you know, learn where you're faster and where he's faster so you can tackle him. And that's going to be the story of the game. As soon as you break away, as you mentioned, from groups, it's just you and the other drivers, so you better make sure everything counts, every move counts. It looks like we're going to have trouble on the downhill section.
Our amateur leader has just crashed, and that's going to turn things over to Roger Morton, who I was about to make a joke about, actually. It seemed like Andy McEwen, Roger Morton, and myself, we could make about 6 laps at Bathurst in the 12-hour, and then we crashed. Well, thankfully for Roger and Andy, this race is only 6 laps, but a problem there for Adam Fox could put a little bit of pressure here on Roger as he inherits that lead in amateur class just over Mark Oliver as well. Mark is not far back in that orange 88 Tech car, so that could be a fun little battle. And up ahead, hey, Andy's doing some battle with Adam Delmont. Here we go.
Oh, this is going to be fun. As you can see, nearly going 3 wide. Chris Knox is going to try to get them both on the outside. Couldn't really do it. Couldn't even... Oh, they made contact.
They're all going to crash. Chris Knox gave a shot to Adam Delmont. That pushed Delmont into Andy McEwen. And they all had a bit of a crash that backs them all up now into this Excite pack with Liam Silkstone and Nick Clibbins. Silkstone going to take a look to the inside of Murray's, and he will get that spot over McEwen. Now Clibbins follows through.
McEwen ended up losing 2 spots for these drivers, as you can see, squeezing them out. We might have a 3 wide action. No, Clibbins looks like he's helping Silkstone into Hell's Corner. Silkstone is going to have a really compromised exit, a really compromised line on the exit of Hell's Corner, so that could hurt his momentum. And you can see, it looks like Clark getting a really good line, and well, he's probably going to take them all, Andrew.
Oh yeah, goes to the left side, 3 wide. Excuse me. This is going to get interesting up to Quarry. I think McEwen will probably back out. We'll see the bigger picture here in this race. He does. He slips in behind Clibbins and now behind Clark. Oh, maybe not. He pokes his nose 3 wide. They get back 2 by 2, though. Silkstone leading this group. Clark out way wide out to the pedigree tire barrier. Thankfully, keeps it on the racetrack.
Yeah, that was quite close. I'm pretty sure he was grabbing his steering and just yanking right to make sure the car gripped. And you can see him losing another position to Chris Knox, unfortunately. So that payoff, well, that risk on the outside did not pay off too well, but, well, he holds on his position, looks like for 11th place at the time being. And Andrew, Chris Knox and Adam Delmon and McEwen are quite close together, so I'm pretty sure we could see that battle just resuming in a few laps. Looks like Silkstone is still trying to hold off Nick Clibbins, who looks really racy and looks like he wants to find a way past the number 594.
Well, those two are Excite teammates. I think they're working together right now. Certainly they're working together against Andy McEwen. And oh, man, contact there with Clibbins and McEwen as they work to Skyline. This is going to get interesting.
Oh, this is already interesting. I'm not pretty sure if you can get too much more. But, well, it's going to be fun. This is so much fun to watch. You can see now the onboard of number 4 trying to line up a move. And I'm pretty sure if the opportunity comes, Andrew, I'm pretty sure the number 4 will take it. Because if he doesn't, the number 23 right behind him definitely will.
Back down the mountain we'll go. Chris Knox and Andy McEwen worked together last time through before the contact with Adam Delmont. Will they work together again? Silkstone over Clibbins, McEwen over Knox, and they are definitely tandeming, trying to get a run going down this Conrad straight. McEwen a little bit squirrely there. Into the chase, where do they go? McEwen looks to the inside, he's going to commit down there. Squirrely under braking, comes back over in front of Knox. Oh, and the Excite teammates get staggered. Now 3 wide out of the chase. Chris Knox up the left side and down for the inside for Murray's.
What a move from Chris Knox. What an exit. Just took them both out on the outside. Brilliant move. Moves up to 8th place. And you can see now McEwen looks like he's going to be settling for 9th. And Nick Clibbins, after, well, being in 8th place just 3 corners ago, now is currently in 10th. But Andrew, what a move from the number 23. That was beautiful.
That was good. That was a beaut. That's up to 8th then for Chris Knox. He'll bring the fight to Liam Silkstone. And up ahead, teammates changing hands at the race lead. 3 of them up front. Casper DeCourt has given way to Jason Cooper, who's got the lead back. Lars Fischer fell back to 3rd, and Michael Seal hangs just behind them in 4th. You can see Tom Griffiths in 5th. Boy, if you're Andy McEwen, you cannot let Tom Griffiths run this race in 5th, and you end up in 9th. That's not going to work.
Yeah, absolutely not. And obviously this switching up between teammates and obviously the battle with Michael Seal definitely brought them all closer to Tom Griffiths. And as you mentioned, Andrew, right now he's on the first group. He's on the slipstream. So we could see Tom, staying in 5th place or, well, any of the other 4 positions right ahead of him. So unfortunately for the number 4, this could be the worst case scenario for race number 1.
Well, he could be crashed, so it's not worst case yet. But it's certainly not ideal as the teammates up front, man, they are starting to scare me. They'll work over Skyline one more time, and we'll get the white flag, I think, next time by the start-finish line. Douglas Stewart, I think, has just had an incident. Yes, he has.
Oh, no. Oh, that car is destroyed. You can see the front left suspension as Chris Knox is going to go side by side as we head into the downhill section. Him and Liam Silkstone were battling. I saw those names moving up and down. Can Liam do this section? Yeah, he's going to be really compromised, but he's going to make it stick. The number 23, Andrew. Wow, I've never seen the car moving so much, looking for positions left, right, and center, but looks like he's going to be settling. But now in the downhill section, if he got a great exit and maybe the slipstream, he could get past the number 594, but looks like he's going to help.
Give him a shot. Now it goes to the right side. That's going to bring Andy McEwen. They'll be on the inside for this bend. And then they'll be on the outside for the chase if they stay there. Will Andy McEwen go back to the inside as he's done a couple of times? Adam Delmont is now right back behind these guys. Silkstone stays inside. McEwen stays outside with Chris Knox. Chris Knox going to have that spot easily. Side by side between McEwen and Silkstone. McEwen takes it away.
Takes it away beautifully on the exit. Now we're going to go 3 wide. As you can see, Silkstone, Clark. It looks like Dalmon as well. So that was interesting. Silkstone unfortunately dropping a few positions as well. He's going to have the inside for the last corner. He stays with that position for the time being. But look at the exit that Dalmon got.
And a bit of contact with Nathan Davies and Nick Clibbins puts Nick Clibbins off the racetrack. Here comes Nathan Davies now to the inside of James Clark. Goes right to the inside of Liam Silkstone as well. I don't think Liam was expecting that at all. And Liam, and he's in the wall. And that's a crash. Was that Craig Schill that misses him? That was Mark Oliver, actually. Mark Oliver has just spun around and lost positions. Liam Silkstone crashed. My goodness. Last lap drama at Bathurst. This will solidify, though, more than likely, an amateur win for Roger Morton. So how about that for car 922? We'll go further up front. Boy, what a finish this is shaping up to be. And that was certainly one way to take the white flag. Let's go back up front, though. Our race leaders. Still 3 of them in a line. Tom Griffiths, though, has gotten by Michael Seal.
Yeah, got him by. It looks like they lost a bit of contact with the top 3, but fourth position is definitely going to be better. He's going to get more points over Andy McKeon, which is exactly what he needs in the championship. But Andrew, I dare say the battle for the lead is definitely not over. I'm interested to see if Casper the Court or Lars Fischer is going to put on a move over Jason Cooper on the final lap on the final straightaway.
Well, let's wait and find out. Lars Fischer sitting in third. You can see the brake lights there on the 5 car, brake lights on the 1. That didn't look super clean from Lars. It looked clean in that he didn't hit anything, but he didn't look fast. As you can see, Jason Cooper and Casper the Court pulling a little bit, but this is where his strength is going to come in. The draft, the slipstream. He'll be able to draft up to both of these guys. Now, Casper is going to have one heck of a run here on Jason Cooper by the chase. Will he take the opportunity, or will he let Jason grab win number 11 on the season?
Well, the question is going to be decided. Oh, here we go. The move from the number 5 just before the, looks like just before the chase. As you can see, number 5 goes and, already clears the number 1. So did Jason Cooper make that too easy for his teammate, Andrew?
Well, big picture, they don't need to battle tooth and nail for this. All they got to do is get to the end in this order, and they've got a really good day. Now, Lars Fischer takes a look to the outside of Jason Cooper, and this is going to be a run between teammates to the end. Casper the Court has got another race win this season. It's been a little while, but he hasn't forgotten how to win yet. Casper the Court wins race 1 at Bathurst. Michael Seal just loses that battle with Tom Griffiths and will finish in the 5th position. Some great battling coming to us. Here we go into Murray's. Andy McEwen going to lead that group for the back, and Delmont pounds the wall. Clark is going to get him.
Yeah, Clark just got him on the line, so the number 77 is going to have to settle for 11th place. As you can see, even more positions being decided. Looks like Roger Morton did indeed win the amateur class. Just 2 positions ahead of Michael Lee, so really good race for him, but well clear of his competition. As you can see, even more drivers finishing at the lap. Looks like Thor Tulo as well finishing. And what a race number 1, Andrew. That was fun. I'm ready for the extra 3.
That was kind of a quiet white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams, honestly. It was exciting there with Silkstone's crash, but then it kind of really toned down. We had that nice little pass, I will say, a nice pass for the win there from Casper the Court, but pretty tame otherwise, as Alistair Hatcher will be the final car across the line. Now, Paul Donkin did not start the race. Paul Donkin will get credited with 29th position in this race, which is very important for the standings, very important for the championship in Pro-Am. Douglas Stewart's the only hope to upset Liam Silkstone, and Douglas Stewart finished actually 1 position behind Liam Silkstone with Liam's DNF there on the final lap. It looks like he didn't quite finish that last lap. So, JP, you know what that does mean?
It's time for our spinny wheel.
It is indeed. It is green this week. Meant to do that a long time ago, but it is green now at least. And we will invert this field around by 15 cars. It looks like 23 were eligible. Maybe 24 if you count Liam, maybe even 25 with Douglas Stewart, but it won't even be a conversation because we're only inverting 15 of them. And that will reach all the way down to James Neve. And you gotta wonder, is it maybe better to miss the invert this week than make it?
Well, that's an interesting one. That's a good one, but due to the numbers being so high, like the lowest number is 11, it's kind of interesting. I don't know, Andrew. That's actually a really intricate question. But either way, Casper the Court is going to be finishing first. He's going to get the worst result possible if you think about the invert. Jason Cooper is going to finish in second, Lars Fischer in third, Tom Griffiths in fourth place ahead of Michael Seal, Ben Williams in sixth place ahead of Andrew McEwen, Chris Knox in eighth, and Nathan Davis is going to finish in ninth place to get the Pro-Am lead. James Clark, Andrew, in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, you'll find that of car 77, Adam Delmont. After his contact with the wall outside of the final corner, he will take the 11th spot and will start 5th then for race 2, ahead of all of those guys that he was just battling. Nick Clibbins will finish 12th. Roger Morton there in 13th with the amateur race win. Thor Tullo and James Nee will be your new front row for race number 2. Then it's a slew of amateur drivers. Michael Lees, Mark Oliver, Craig Schill, and Fiona Siddons all in order there, 16th through 19th, while Julian Schroer finishes 20th.
21st place will go to Lee Holmes ahead of Glenn Humberstone. Alistair Hatchett, unfortunately, 23rd place. And those were the drivers that finished on the lead lap. Liam Silkstone, unfortunately, finishing 1 lap down. Douglas Stewart in 25th. Adam Fox, 3 laps down in 26th place. Colin Sansom, 4 laps down in 27th. Duncan Cope, 28th. And Paul Donkin, 29th place, unfortunately, 7 laps down.
So 29 cars, and really 28, because, again, Donkin didn't make the start of the race. Actually didn't make the race at all, unfortunately. So hopefully he turns up for the next couple of races, but 29 cars in total. This is going to be a lot of fun the rest of the day. I'm really excited to see where the racing goes over the course of the afternoon. And let's just check that weather again. By the end of the race, it held pretty steady. 72-degree track temp by the end of the race there, JP. That's not too warm. We could definitely go higher, especially being down in Bathurst, Australia. So if the clouds break, it could get pretty slidey.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess we're kind of expecting it to get warmer because this doesn't feel like Australia, does it? All those hot weather, the hot weather is just dominant in Australia. So these guys actually got a home race in Australia, Andrew, if you think about it. Clouds, cold weather. Yeah, so a bit interesting. So a home territory for them.
Yeah, they brought the weather along with them, but we'll see how race number 2 goes here in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. More racing action with the British Sim Racers Trophy Tuesdays, and of course the MX-5s here in just a little bit. Race 2 is on the way. A 15-car invert. That's going to put James Neve in first and Casper DeCourt in 15th, and a whole lot of changes in between. Carry on with us in just a few moments.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Right back to it then. Race number 2 on deck at Bathurst. I really do love coming here. I love everything about Bathurst. I have pretty bad luck in the 12-hour here, JP, but just something about this place. It's so it's such a driver's racetrack that it's hard not to like it in any capacity. It's just a really good bit of tarmac.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the 12-hour races that I've raced here, unfortunately, did not go my way, but you know, just being able to throw a GT car or any car for that matter around here is just so much fun. You know, as I mentioned before, you know, just building that confidence, just, you know, building your trust with the car and your trust itself on the racetrack as well. It's just so much fun. It's so rewarding when you get it right. I mean, in my personal opinion, this is one of the best race courses in the world, and I absolutely love it.
It's very hard to argue against this place. Jason Cooper going fastest in practice. It's also very hard to argue against him as a worthy champion. He's been so good this season and is continuing that this evening. Just about won race number 1. Even though he got sorted back early in the race, JP just about won that first race. He's just so good. He's got something else going on in that number 1 car that nobody else has, and it certainly shows. So go ahead and take a look at the weather, because that's I think the most interesting part between races here with the British Sim Racers, and you can see it's cooled down a little bit, even though the clouds have broken. Sun is out, and it's just partly cloudy out there. It's definitely changed the sky, but the track is actually cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting to see, you know, the sky, the sun is out, but the track getting cooler. But, well, it is what it is. It's going to be fun, so the drivers should be used to this, Andrew. Obviously, the change of lighting could, you know, catch a few drivers out in practice, but I don't think it's going to change much in the race, which, you know, it's good for these drivers. The confidence that they build up in race number 1 should definitely translate to race number 2.
Let's take another look quickly at the track map, and I think we'll see these guys oddly calm between, between Hell Corner and Griffin's Bend, and even maybe into the cutting. I think the first chance for a crash that we're going to have, the first good chance for a crash that we'll have in these races will probably be the cutting turns 3 and 4. I think that's where things will get a little bit interesting as the day goes on. We've got a grid of race cars, though, ready to go. Once again, race number 2 on the way. Let's go ahead and meet the 15 cars being inverted here. The flagman even has switched out. I guess we switched out flagmans, too. That's pretty cool. James Neve will start in first. Thortillo will start from second. Roger Morton will inherit third place starting position here in this race after winning in amateur competition. Look at that cushion he's got from third all the way back to 16th in amateur class. That's going to be a lot of fun for him to defend. Nick Clibbins will start from 4th. Starting 5th, you'll find the 77 of Adam Delmont. 6th will be James Clark. And starting from 7th, you'll find the 522 of Nathan Davies, the highest of the Pro-Am drivers. I guess we're getting going that quickly. I took a little bit of extra time there, but hey, we've got 6 more laps ready to go for these guys. 15 minutes of racing. Race 2 begins now. Bit of contact further back in the field, but everybody else gets up, going the mountain. Or going up the mountain, rather. Thortillo starting from the pit lane might be a safe choice.
Absolutely. We all know how tricky the mountain can be. As you can see, we're having battles for second and further back. Probably going to be sorted out on turn number 2. As you can see, it is. So most drivers are electing to be safe, as you mentioned, Andrew. I guess that's going to be the word of the race today, just being safe.
We hope. It'll be the word of the race, we hope. As into the cutting for the first time in race 2. This is a good look at the field. Oh, we've got problems. Nick Clibbins with trouble here.
Oh.
I mentioned it in the cutting. Big, big problems for the entire field here.
Everybody checking up.
That's my goodness.
Oh my god, a car nearly flipped over the barrier.
Let's let lap 1 sort itself out, although these guys are stuck. I don't know if there's any getting out of this. Who is still stuck there? Douglas Stewart and Casper DeCourt is stuck back here. You're kidding me.
Oh,
sure enough, there he is.
Oh no, that's a terrible start for his race number 2. Going from essentially 0 to 0, that's really unfortunate for the number 5. I mean, well, just heartbreaking essentially. And look at the gap that the first 4 or 5 drivers have over the rest of the grid, Andrew. That's going to be hard to take
Michael
back.
Lees with a crash into the dipper. Oh my, what a lap 1. There he goes into the wall on the outside now. Nathan Davies will come on through. And a few other cars will finish up. Oh boy, this is just through Forest Elbow now, and this is just lap 1. This is going to be something.
This is definitely interesting. Obviously, this took a massive hit, especially in the battle for the lead. Look at this. Is that James Neve? Yeah, that's the number 7, James Neve, right? Just leading away, probably around 1.5, 2 second lead. So, well, calm and collected. That's going to be what he's going to be trying to do for the next 6, 7 laps, because he essentially got this in the bag. Although I see some familiar liveries right behind. As you can see now, Andy McEwen nearly making contact on the exit of... That's not the chase. That is... Yeah, that's the chase. So, well, there we go, Andrew. Lap number 1 is finished. I'm not pretty sure if, well, that was calm and collected, as I mentioned.
No, I think that was definitely far from it. Let's go ahead and go back and get our first replay of the day here. That was definitely something at the start. Let's see what we can find out about what went on very early on in this race. It's going to start somewhere up here. I'm not exactly sure where. I think it was Nick Clibbins where this really starts. Go ahead and follow along with car number 13. He was second place in all of this, which really, I think, makes it even worse for him. He's got Adam Delmont behind. Does he get hit by his teammate? I would hope not.
As you can see...
No, he just got loose on a downshift, I think.
Yeah, just completely. The back end just stepped out, and that's the worst place possible. One of the worst places to have a problem. And as you can see, his wheel is already stuck. So, did he come back to the pits? Is that his race over?
It looks like he at least tried to get back around to the pit lane. Let's take another look at things here. And let's watch it from this angle and then try and pick up some of those guys that came in further back. Actually, go ahead and take this. This will show us a lot of the crashing. Chris Knox comes on through. And then Fiona Siddons and some others are going to come in here, and they're not going to know what's going on just yet. And oh my gosh, look at the crashing. That was Douglas Stewart that went up the wall. Wow.
Wow, indeed. And it's just so unfortunate when you're just coming into turn number 4 and you have absolutely no idea where the car is stuck. And, well, sometimes that just happens. It's just straight up bad luck.
Let's ride on board with Duncan Cope for this. This will be a fun view. And by fun, I mean, no, not really. Go on board with the Autism Speaks, number 512. We've talked about this livery before. I like what he's done here with the 512, and certainly the message that he's spreading. Let's watch this through the cutting. This is going to be something else. So at this point, they're probably getting the yellow flag notification on iRacing. And yeah, Duncan, sure enough, backs way up. He's going to come around to this parking lot and mess, and even he gets into Sansom and gets hit from behind. Who hit him? Actually, a really good question. I think the car actually either towed or got back. I don't know, but man.
Just unfortunate to happen in lap number 1, but just things that happen at Bathurst, and unfortunately for some of these drivers, there was absolutely no escape at that point. And now coming back to the racetrack, well, Andrew, I mentioned that number 7 had a decent lead. Looks like that lead has already been cut off by quite a bit. As you can see now, Tom Griffiths, Adam Delmont, who's in second place, and looks like he got past Chris Knox. Well, he's hunting the number 7 down.
They are on the move. James Neve had a great start. Got away from the action, got away from the crashing, but is starting to slow down a little bit as this race goes on. Adam Delmont and Chris Knox, I think, really just using the draft to make up spots here, make up time, rather. As Knox stays just in behind Delmont. Battles further back. Lars Fisher, Ben Williams. Here's an onboard with Williams.
As you can see, this is a battle for 8th place. Lars gets ahead of the number 75. And while gets a position for the time being, I'm pretty sure the number 75 will not be happy. They were running the same group, weren't they, entering race number 1? So they're quite familiar to running with one another. As you can see, the number 75, looks like his mirror is hanging off, so maybe a little bit of damage, and that could have made even more damage, just as I mentioned, his right-hand side. So unfortunately for him, he might lose the position to the number 4. He's going really defensive.
Yeah,
that could have hurt him on exit. Wow.
That's very aggressive out of Ben Williams. After you pancake the wall out of the cutting like that, to squeeze a driver, that's hopeful. Certainly optimistic at best, but we'll have to get used to these mirrors being knocked off. That's just going to happen here at Bathurst, certainly, over the course of the racing today and Thursday. Let's go on board with Lee Holmes. He's got a great view of this.
He got a great view. He almost got the position over Andy McEwen, but he couldn't really capitalize. Yeah, tapped the wall a little bit, so that's not gonna really help him. Hopefully he didn't get any damage from it. So as you can see, just lining himself up, trying to even get a little bit away. He goes for a tighter line on entry, could hurt him a little bit on exit, but looks like he gets a really good run, Andrew. And well, with that double slipstream, the number 35 could come strong enough on the chase.
McEwen gonna have a pretty good shot here at Williams. Let's move up though. Tom Griffiths in a battle with James Clark. These two just swapped positions. Griffiths now. And Delmont has already caught James Neve. Here's contact. Chris Knox and Adam Delmont get after it. Oh, man.
Oh, and you saw I mentioned a little bit of contact between Knox and Delmont. That's, well, I think that's just going to happen sometimes racing. Looks like Chris Knox tried to do the same. And Andy is really slow into the chase.
Just had contact.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of contact. And I wonder if Ben Williams, well, it looks like he lost the position as well. It looks like Ben Williams is outside of the top 10, Andrew.
Yeah, they just had a moment heading down Conrad. We'll get a look at it here. So, we'll first, actually, let's go back and we'll get McEwen first down the hill, and then we'll touch on the Chris Knox situation in a moment. This is the situation for Ben Williams and Andy McEwen. Andy McEwen goes to the right side of the racetrack. Is Williams going to defend? Well, not quite there, but he kind of, oh. Yeah, Andy kind of come over after the bend there.
Yeah, a little bit of an echo definitely didn't help them both out, and the number 75 looks like that was terminal damage from him. So an unfortunate incident, Andrew, and well, Lee Holmes actually benefited from all that, got 2 free positions, and it looks like no damage whatsoever to his race car. And now this instant, while they were battling for the lead, as you can see, Adam Delmont, Chris Knox essentially tried to do the same thing he did on race number 1. But unfortunately, the number 77 was further left on the racetrack, and unfortunately, the number 23 had nowhere to go and just, well, kind of just ran into the back of Delmont.
Now, more recently, this will be a look at a pass for the race lead between these guys. James Neve has fallen down to 3rd place, and this is how it happens. Look at this run from Chris Knox. Back up the right side. He's going to get a 2-for-1 special. There he goes, right up the inside of Griffin's Bend, and James Neve just runs wide, gets a bowl of dog food, and gets back in the race.
Yeah, unfortunately, James Neve was, well, a bit cautious over the number 23, ended up losing the position to Delmont as well. So, yeah, unfortunately for the number 7, that great lap 1 that he had, that great gap, but unfortunately did not stick out till the end of the race. But that means, Andrew, it's Chris Knox versus Adam Delmont for the battle for the lead.
So Chris Knox leading, back live now with 5.5 minutes to go. We'll get the 2-to-go signal, this time by the start-finish line, and here comes Adam Delmont.
You can see trying to use that run as we head into the chase. Will he go for a move just on the braking zone? Looks like he's just helping the number 23. Looking now down to the inside. Goes a little bit cautious in the braking. So maybe Andrew just waiting for the final few laps. He knows how strong the slipstream is and how difficult it is to break away. So probably could be just waiting for his competition. As you can see now, Roger Morton looks like he lost position for Tom Griffiths. It looks like Clark is trying to get the position as well, going to the outside on the final corner, trying to outbrake the number 922, but Roger goes really deep on the braking. Not really deep, just deep enough to maintain that position for the time being.
You can see the differences in aggression certainly between these two. Roger Morton just trying to keep his race going and hang on to every position he can because he knows he's in a good spot. You know, he's well out in front in amateur. He's got a, healthy gap back to Mark Oliver to the tune of 5 seconds. No, 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds back to Mark Oliver. He's just trying to keep it clean. And you saw the move out of James Clark, looking for any position or any way by him here. Back on board with car number 20. And he'll go up the inside of Griffin's Bend. Turn number 2, he's going to take that away.
Gonna take that away down to the inside. Not quite easy. Looks like Roger tried to put up a challenge on the outside, but unfortunately had to yield. So, but still, Andrew, 7th place for Roger. That's an excellent point Spain position.
And here's a couple of other guys that we've talked so much about this season. Liam Silkstone and Andy McEwen now battling. And Andy actually, I believe, shouted out Liam Silkstone a couple of weeks ago for one of his wins. So, well wide into the cutting there for car number 4. Andy McEwen on the outside. Contact with Liam Silkstone. No. That's not how you want that to go.
Absolutely not. The number 4 was really committed. I was going to give him props, but unfortunately, well, couldn't really stick it on the outside. Maybe just got ran off the road. But unfortunately, that's race number 2 isn't his race, is it, Andrew? But definitely is these two boys' races. Adam Delmont and Chris Knox absolutely going for it. And, well, Andrew, look at the 4th position. Look who's there. was getting really, really close to them.
Always just lurking. That metallic blue along with the matte black. Yeah. I don't know what it is about this guy. He's always so good. And I know the drivers are equally stumped. They don't know what he's got. He's just that good.
I mean, he's just fantastic. Number 77 going down to the inside of Chris Knox. Chris doesn't really defend from it right now. They're going to go side by side into the chase. Looks like Jason Cooper is going to get the position as well. Looks like Chris Knox kind of upset Delmont under braking. That's really going to allow him to get an excellent run. And look at this move, Andrew, to get the lead back.
Knox got a bit of grass there on the right side at brake and turn in for the cutting. Now moves over in front of Delmont. Yep, that's what you get when you move over in front of somebody in the braking zone. That was very, very sketchy. Delmont gave him a shot. Now runs wide out of Murray's, and here comes Cooper.
Cooper is definitely gonna, well, he definitely wants more of those battles because he's just getting free position. Kind of just runs Delmont off of the road, so a bit more contact with the number 77. He might lose position to James Neve on the final lap of the race.
Let's see what these guys can do. Top four all on a line. On board with James Neve in fourth. Actually, I think Cooper's going to have a move here on Knox by Griffins, maybe. This is going to be close.
Oh, he's looking down the inside. Not deep enough under braking. Chris really closes that door for the time being. So the move, Andrew, might just come down to the chase. And, well, on the last lap, that's the place where you really want to make the move. Looks like Delmont as well got a really good run out of turn number 2. So this train, well, we might not see these guys finishing the position that they're in right now.
I highly doubt it. There's no way they come back in exactly this order. Now, Chris Knox, he's got a race win this season. But if you recall, JP, that came all the way back at round number 1, race number 2 at Donington Park. All the way back on December 28th of last year. Can he get another race win? They work through, well, they'll work to Skyline now. This is going to be close.
It's going to be really close. Cooper was essentially pushing Knox over the mountain, so well, Cooper definitely has the confidence and definitely has the pace to get past these guys. Now the question is, can he capitalize on that on the final lap? He's only going to have one shot, Andrew. This is going to be it, just coming down the mountain. Now full on throttle, and 0.4 of a second might just be the perfect gap to get that slingshot effect.
While that sets up, let's quickly highlight your Pro-Am battle. It's Glenn Humberstone and Julian Schroer as they work to Forrest Elbow. Oh, a little bit of contact, maybe Humberstone with the spot. They're going to battle down Conrad. Oh, Humberstone and Schroer both pound the wall, and they're going to drag race down the straightaway. Schroer's got the spot up front. Jason Cooper with a move now on Chris Knox for the win. Chris Knox has gone straight. He's going for the jump. He's cleared it.
He did it.
Can he save the car? He's going to win the race this way. You're kidding me. Well, he's not going to win the race. He's going to have a slowdown, but I can't believe it. He actually went for it. He's going to give the time up. Can he do it? But I don't know what to say.
What a mad lad. Oh, he's going to lose the race, unfortunately. But wow.
Wow.
What a perfect jump as well. I mean, I've never seen that one before, but with
the
that
Winter Olympics just ended, but can we give that ski jump a 10?
Just cover the mountain in snow, and there you go. Chris Knox gets the gold medal.
Well, you know, one thing that I don't think they're going to see at least not in the chase at Bathurst, is snow. At least not enough for the Winter Olympics. Here's a battle into the final corner. A couple of side-by-side there. Adam Fox, Nathan Davies, and yeah, there's Adam Fox crashing, unfortunately. Bit of contact there. Does he get across the line ahead of that car? Maybe. That was close. And that was Adam Fox. Yes, he hangs on to that over Duncan Cope, it looks like, and Colin Sansom and some others. Wow. I've seen a lot of things on iRacing.
Absolutely.
Seen a lot of things. I've not seen that.
I mean, everybody knows that my first language, I guess most of you know that my first language is Portuguese and my second language is English. And Andrew, I've always wanted the opportunity to say this word, and I'm not pretty sure if that's the right meaning, but I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, that does fit. Let's go back and get a look at this. We're going to go all the way back onto the mountain here. And just, I think before we get the invert, this last lap from Chris Knox deserves a chance at a replay here. Let's go on board through the cutting. Really good run there. He was doing everything right. Just, you know, Jason Cooper had a draft.
Absolutely, and then the inside line for the kink right before the braking zone into the chase. And look at the run that Cooper has right here. He just essentially pushes the number 23. Look at how close he gets.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are very, very close here. I still can't believe. Oh my gosh. The white flag, presented by Whiplash Simcams in the British Sim Racers MX-5s, never disappoints. Never ever disappoints. 3-4 of Selvo here, and this is where things get fun. Jason Cooper is going to have a big run on him now. I'm kind of curious as to what Jason's view of all of this was.
I mean, I wonder if he thought he made like a ghost contact, an echo contact with Chris Knox, because I definitely thought that was the case at one moment.
So here we go. Cooper goes right. This is where we rejoined him. And Chris Knox is just going to peel off. And see you later, boys. I mean, perfectly. And look at the gap he worked up. If iRacing didn't have slowdowns, he was off to the races. I can't believe this. I can't believe it worked.
Yes, and he held on for second, or did he get disqualified?
Oh, no, he lost plenty of time. He finishes 24th in this. But, I mean, it worked in that he didn't crash. Here's the onboard.
Look at the car control, just lines up perfectly. Wow, and that save as well on landing.
I can't believe it. One more time. One more time, I promise.
And Andrew, you know what's going to be what could be the icing on the cake?
If he gets the invert.
Yes, and gets pole position.
This will be a view. This might go straight through our camera, actually. Or to the inside of it. Wow. I know we've got a camera there. Hey, I know I said one more time, I promise. I know we've got a camera in that vicinity, and I wonder if I can find it. That's going to be an interesting view if I can. Here we go. Just found it. This is down Conrad, and then we'll get the invert. This is just too good. And I saw guys talking about it in the chat in Discord, saying, hey, what if we do this? Of course, Chris Knox is the one to actually do it in racing conditions. Here we go. Maybe it's not the camera that I thought it was. But it should switch right about... maybe not. But it's just insane. I can't believe it. So, let's go ahead and pop that invert up. Let's go ahead and flip these guys around. First invert of the day. Second invert of the day. We had 15. And is it going to be 17? It's going to be 17, JP. So keeping it decently close. It's not going to help Chris Knox any, but it is going to help Nathan Davies, who finished 17th in this race. Let's go ahead and go through your race results.
So with that last lap move, Jason Cooper is going to win the race. Finishes just ahead of Adam Dalmon. James Neve, after, well, essentially gapping the field in lap number 1, is unfortunately going to finish in 3rd place. Tom Griffiths in 4th, ahead of Lars Fischer. James Clark is going to finish 6th place, ahead of our amateur winner, Roger Morton. Lee Holmes is going to finish in 8th place, ahead of Michael Steele. And Glenn Humberstone, our Pro-Am winner, is going to finish in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, you will find car number 578. That contact with Humberstone and Schroer into the outside wall. Well, Humberstone got the spot back, as you mentioned, JP. Schroer finishes just behind in 2nd in class. It was a half-second gap at the start-finish. Mark Oliver takes 12th. Andy McEwen falls back to 13th. Paul Donkin 14th. So we got that race in. Good to see that for Paul Donkin. Casper DeCourt way back there in 15th spot. Dorotolo will once again be given 2nd here for the invert, but I would imagine we'll start from the pit lane again. And Nathan Davies will now be your pole sitter for race number 3. Adam Fox 18th, Duncan Cope 19th, and Colin Sansom in 20th.
Alistair Hatcher is going to finish in 21st place, ahead of Fiona Siddons. Liam Silkstone in 23rd place, ahead of Chris Knox. The jumping 23 machine. Douglas Stewart is going to finish in 25th place, ahead of Ben Williams. Craig Schill in 27th. Nick Clibbins in 28th. And Michael Lees in 29th place, Andrew. And I can safely say that was a race.
That was definitely a race, yes. Track temp worked its way up to 71 there by the end. Which, as we learned earlier, is just about 21 degrees Celsius. We'll see where that goes for race number 3. I still can't believe that move from Chris Knox. It worked, but it didn't work, right? It was so clean. He got over the jump so nicely. And, you know, if only the admins would have cleared his black flags, I think everyone could have supported that at that point, right? Give him the win at that point. That is some proper effort. But, of course, you can't let him get the win that way. It goes to Jason Cooper, which, by the way, is win number 11 on the season for Jason. So well done there for Jason Cooper. Just incredible what he's done this season, and I'm sure he's going to go for 12 and potentially 13 here in just a few moments. So we will take a step aside and be right back to you with race number 3 from Bathurst.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Welcome back to the virtual Mount Panorama circuit, of course, the virtual Bathurst. It's always just such fun to race here, and of course to cover racing here at the mountain. Though I do hope temperatures pick up on Thursday. I think that's going to be a lot of fun if we get some higher temps. This is a live look at the racetrack in sim. We have hit some nightfall here. It's getting cooler as well. That track temp, yeah, it's dropped down to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. That is just under 20 degrees Celsius. So nice cool track conditions today, but maybe I'm just a little bit chaotic. I kind of want to see things a little bit warmer on Thursday, JP.
No, me too. It's definitely going to make it for a bigger challenge for the drivers, and obviously with the front-wheel drive cars on Bathurst is definitely going to be even more challenging on the uphill and downhill section, applying power, having the tires slip up. So, but that's Thursday's talk. So right now, Andrew, the scenery, the skies, it just looks absolutely wonderful. And you ran the 12 hours of Bathurst a few weeks ago. Does it look similar?
Oh yeah, and well, I mean, in a different way. Of course, in the morning, you get that sun coming up over Skyline, and that is just one of the best views, I think, in all of motorsport. To come over Skyline and be looking straight at the sun. Yeah, it stings a little bit, sure, but it looks so good. This is a look at the sunset now, as the sun is actually setting over the back side of the mountain, and we work closer into the evening. I wonder if we'll have a full darkness race then, here in just a few moments for race number 4. But this, race number 3, it's going to have enough light out there to still be a bit like your morning stint to Bathurst, maybe.
Absolutely. And, well, obviously the drivers are going to be well accustomed, as you mentioned, Andrew. The temperature did not change, so you could say it's a bit of like a longer race, an endurance race so far. You know, the sky just kindly, just gingerly getting darker and the track just getting colder. But, well, it's just, business as usual for some of these guys. The championship standings, Andrew, they have not changed a lot for the leaders of each class, did they?
No, this was coming into today, and points have changed, yes, and points will change again, but this order is actually very close to the same. Griffiths is still third, the top two is the same. Delmont is now fourth over Casper DeCourt, so there's a change there. Liam Silkstone still leads in Pro-Am. In fact, Adam Mitchinson, while not being here, has gained 2 positions.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. He was promoted to 18th place, which is Obviously, kind of interesting to think about. Fiona Siddons, obviously, as well, Andrew, in second place in the Pro-Am class. That's a close battle between her and Colin Sampson as well.
And of course, it's being changed up so much because of the drops being figured in and the way that changes things as more results are added and different results can be dropped. So that's kind of where that all comes from. How about that look from atop the flag stand? Let's meet the field of 17 being inverted. Nathan Davies now on pole. Thoratullo in second. Starting third, you'll find the 5 car of Casper de Court. Fourth is Paul Donkin. Now, Thoratullo is on the grid. McEwen will start from fourth. Mark Oliver there in sixth. Starting seventh, you'll find car 578 of Julian Schroer. Then it's Glenn Humberstone. And to wrap up your top 10, JP, Michael Steele and Lee Holmes.
11th place will go the way of Roger Morton. On his outside, James Clark. 13th place will go the ways of, looks like the driver of the name. We're just waiting to switch. Lars Fisher, Tom Griffiths on his outside, and Andrew, the red lights are on, and, well, sooner they're going to be off.
Jason Cooper starts this one from 17th, rather. Lights are out, green flag is waving, and we're racing in race number 3. A bit of contact in the back, and cars are spinning. Fiona Siddons has gone around. Oh, man, problems for the 927. Let's go back up front, though, as they work up the mountain.
You can see a few drivers going side by side, trying to get a few positions right before they enter this tricky section right here of turn number 2. As you can see, a few drivers going side by side, a few drivers going defensive to try and hold that position. But it looks like so far, Andrew, everybody made it through safely, but this is where the danger lies.
We've seen 2 incidents in a row in the cutting in 2 races. At least on lap number 1. Do we get through the cutting safely this time? We'll see. It looks like
so far, no puff of smoke, no drivers. Oh, just a little bit of contact, looks like, but, well, no traffic jam.
It's good to see. You don't like to see parking lots in the cutting. It's fun to look at, right? You get the crunching, the crashing like a demo derby, but it's not good for the drivers that are out there. Nathan Davies leading to Skyline.
You can see him leading. Looks like his lead is already very challenging, so he's coming into a lot of pressure. As you can see now, going downhill, the dipper. So this is where, I guess, the challenge also lies. You really need to be precise here, and any sort of bad movement could end up with you in the barrier, but looks like the rest of the field Andrew also makes it through safely.
Mark Oliver's got problems. He's slow. Gets back rolling. He definitely hit the wall pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Forest Elbow, though, everybody works on through.
That was a lot of damage for Oliver, so unfortunately, I think his race might be over, but the rest of the field makes it easier, and it looks like, Andrew, we might have a change for the lead. Is that Casper de Court in second place?
It is. Thoratullo in third, Andy McEwen in fourth. Let's go on board with McEwen in that fourth spot, making a move here on Tullo. He's going to go with Casper de Court now. Does he make it 3 wide somehow? He's going to look middle. No, he stays in behind Casper. Nathan Davies back up the inside in the chase. Davies will not relent. Takes that lead back away.
Davies was very brave under braking, really using a lot of that stopping power in the Miata, but made it work, as you can see. So the top 3 remains kind of unchanged. You have Davies from Casper de Court from McEwen. But wow, Andrew, looks like race number 3 got off to a very different start than race numbers 1 and 2.
Nathan Davies leads that first lap.
Oh, and Paul Donkin is back on the field in 4th place. And oh, we have a crash on the last corner.
Alistair Hatcher. You know, I was going to say a big crash, but there's not too much damage to that 964. For the most part, pretty okay. Back up front, here we go. Everybody weaving down the mountain straight, I guess up the mountain straight. Trying to get draft, trying to keep draft away from the cars behind you. Casper de Court at the left side, here we go.
You can see McEwen trying to help him. Oh, they make a bit of contact. The number 5 is going to end up losing the position to the number 4. It looks like McEwen's going to go side by side with Nathan Davies as they head into turn number 3. You can see Paul Donkin going side by side with Casper de Court. This could end up badly. The number 4 goes really deep on their braking and gets that position. That was beautiful commitment by Andy McEwen. Gets that position. You can see Casper de Court dropping off quite a bit, so maybe a bad run for him. So, wow, from battling for the lead to battling for 4th place, Casper de Court definitely doesn't like lap number 2.
So Casper drops back to 4th behind a couple of Pro-Ams. Thoratullo there in 5th. Michael Seal in 6th. Julian Schroer in the top 10. Glenn Humberstone as well. This is going to be fun. To Skyline one more time. This is lap number 2. Andy McEwen leading. Paul Duncan contact with Nathan Davies. He saves it. Oh, that was close.
That was really close. That could have ended in disaster, but luckily it didn't. And while they remain in, it looks like Casper DeCourt right now is really close to Paul Duncan. Could we see a move right here? No, Paul Duncan goes really deep on the braking. That's definitely going to hurt his exit onto the back straightaway. And, well, Andrew, I dare say the number 5.
Tom Griffiths.
Really loose, but he saves it.
Yeah, gets back in behind his teammate Adam Delmont. That was scary there for the 11 car. Griffiths now down into 14th. Donkin and Casper DeCourt going to swap spots as they get down to the chase.
Just switched. So Casper DeCourt now up into 3rd place. Looks like Paul Donkin nearly came under threat from Thor Tulo, who's trying to defend from Michael Seal just behind. So number 57 trying to get a comeback race on race number 3, but looks like he's just gonna have to wait a little bit to pass the number 90 of Thor Tulo. So yeah, Andrew, well, looks like race number 2 is definitely more interesting. Not more interesting, definitely more hectic in terms of overtaking the race numbers 1 and 2.
On to lap 3 in race 3. Jason Cooper goes purple after McEwen did. That's not a surprise. Where is Jason Cooper? He's down in the 11th position. Here he is now, behind Humberstone. Going to try and take the left side, and he will. That should be good for the 10th position here in just a moment, but he's got no help over there. No drafting help, forward or back. That's going to make it a challenge for him to get on by that 513, but he should be able to outbrake Glenn here in Griffin's Bend.
Yeah, definitely should be braver under braking on the racing line. Let's just see how deep the number 1. No! Oh, an instant just ahead.
Paul Duncan and Thor Tulo.
No.
And Paul's going to try and pull away here. Almost into the racing line. Everybody comes on through. Silkstone, Knox, and more. Well. Casper DeCourt now with a chance to maybe get by Nathan Davies. Nathan's going to make it tough.
Absolutely. Nathan is really close to getting another overall race victory. He just has the number 4 just ahead and looks like he's keeping pace. So if you're Nathan Davies, Andrew, on the last race, well, on the second to last race of the season, do you just try to hold off the pro drivers as much as you can to go for that overall victory?
I think I was mistaken. Maybe we are in morning. Did they work backwards here? Because there's sun and skyline. That... It definitely feels like it's gotten brighter here. Okay, that's different. We went from day to morning instead of day to night. You know, the world is spinning backwards, JP.
Yeah.
So Casper DeCourt now with a chance to go to the right side of Nathan Davies. And this will be a good battle, I think, down to the chase. Andy McEwen out front. 4th is a ways back. In fact, a 2.5 back, and that's Lee Holmes back there. Davies lost the spot for a second, gets it back now, drafting off of McEwen. McEwen tried to help him out, I think. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, indeed. The number 5 gets forced to the outside, but they're going to, just a little bit of contact. Oh, Casper DeCourt with extremely good awareness just avoids a second instant with Nathan Davies, so he's going to hold off 3rd place for the time being. The number 522, really racy. And as I mentioned, Andrew, it looks like he's just, well, second to last race of the season. The win is within sight, and, well, could definitely be possible. Delmont!
I first noticed Cooper and Humberstone going after it, and Delmont goes wide and pounds the outside wall. Back up, into the battle in front anyways. Here's Griffiths at the inside of Humberstone. That was aggressive. He's following the 578 of Schroer. Man, these guys are just after it today. No prisoners.
Yeah, just extremely racing, taking those those opportunities as they come. So really good. As you can see now, Ben Williams drag racing with James Neve, just heading uphill into the mountain section. Looks like he's going to be losing that drag race due to just not having any slipstream whatsoever. They're going to go side by side into turn number 2. Yeah, James Neve just has the inside line and could get another position.
Neve now going to try to go on by James Clark. A couple of Jameses going after it here. And Neve will not get that spot over James Clark. Back up front.
Oh, now Nathan Davies really lost a bit of a gap to Andy McEwen, and Casper DeCourt having to defend from Lee Holmes, Andrew. So Lee doing an absolutely amazing job keeping up with these guys and even challenging them. So this is a fun battle to watch. Now you can see the gap was, well, around 2/10, 1/10 of a second as we head into the downhill section. So the number 35 really looking strong on this third race.
Casper de Court looking pretty good as well, but he's going to have to regroup, I think, if he wants to get up there and race for this win. He's got one on the day already. Certainly would like to make it 2 up the inside, maybe of Davies. A good check up there, but that's going to slow them all down.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really going to slow them down. This is really helping McEwen just create that gap and just allow himself to get rid of the slipstream. Looks like it's not going to be this time by, but, well, Casper de Court definitely got a run over Nathan Davies, and he's going to be looking down the inside of the kink as we head into the chase. No, he's helping, so they're trying to maybe reel McEwen in again, Andrew.
Yeah, think back to Spa, think back to Daytona, as now he's deep in there to the chase, goes wide, well in the grass, both of them now. Casper's going to drift, Lee Holmes through the middle!
Oh, yes!
What a move! Lee Holmes of 88 Tech through to second place, and does Casper get a slowdown?
That will be interesting. That's actually a really good point. I don't think he did, otherwise he would be slowing down by this point, but what a move from the number 35. Just threaded the needle, saw the opportunity, and went for it, and cleanly as well.
And he's now within a second of leader Andy McEwen. That's going to be draft up the hill then. He is well and close. His car is having troubles behind. Michael Seal goes off in a battle with Jason Cooper. Lars Fischer goes by. So, move the 5-star Motorsport guys back up front. Well, kind of. Cooper is 5th, Fischer is 6th.
And his teammate is 3rd place, so only one car between Cooper and Casper de Court. That's Nathan Davies. So, well, those guys are on the move, Andrew. And, well, this, with 4 minutes to go, could they get to the top?
Only time will tell. Roger Morton with troubles. He is just towed back to the pit lane. His car is destroyed. And what this means for Amateur is their leader is now Craig Schill in position number 20 overall. No, it's Adam Fox in position 13.
Yeah, Adam doing a really good race in the, well, just between 11th and 20th. So he's the only pro driver in the top 20. No, Craig Schill as well in 20th place. So a really strong performance by Adam Fox, and so far holding off even Adam Delmont, looks like, by the looks of it. So, well, just happy to see the number 966 just holding that off. Looks like Adam Delmont has a lot of damage, and looks like Glenn Humberstone nearly tried to make a move on the mountain. That could have ended very badly.
Your Pro-Am leader, of course, has been Nathan Davies, but next up in Pro-Am would be Julian Schroer back here in 10th spot. He's following James Clark and just ahead of Ben Williams. No, a problem for Liam Silkstone. That's a close-up of the side of the car. Where is he?
He's on...
Was that
Skyline?
Or
has to be.
Coming up to Skyline, maybe?
Oh, yes, maybe as well. There's only 2 places with gravel.
Yes, that was coming up to Skyline, and this is a massive, massive impact.
So you can see just the number 594 coming up to Skyline. Just a few bends right here. Does he kiss the wall on the inside, I wonder? Just turning it maybe just a tiny too early.
Yep.
Yes. And that's...
Oh my. What a hit.
Oh. And yeah, at that point, trying to get the car going again, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere after that massive instant.
Oh, it dug into the sand and would not go. Let's go back up to the leaders. Jason Cooper with a problem out of Murray's. Jason Cooper and... on other drivers, that was checkers. I completely missed the checkers. What has just gone on? I wasn't ready for the race to end. I got to be honest. I did not know the. I don't know. I missed that one. Lee Holmes.
I thought it was the white flag as well.
Yeah, did we? I don't know. I simply don't know. Look at the standings. This is all kinds of out of whack.
It's, yeah, even the standings are weird. What just happened?
So, was that white flag? They're still racing.
Yeah, they're still racing. I don't think the race is it's over just now. Casper de Court is definitely chasing down McEwen.
Okay, we're going to roll with it. We're assuming Lee Holmes is being shown as having taken checkers. And these guys always escape well before now. So if the race is over, they would have all been done by now. We're assuming this is for the win. We'll go back and find out what in the world just happened in a moment. But this is, we're assuming, for the race win. McEwen leading over Court. This is going to be something.
Yeah, this is going to be something. If it is the white flag, Andrew, I'm pretty sure Casper DeCourt will definitely go for it. He's definitely going to try to go 2 for 3, essentially, on this race. But obviously, McEwen also wants a third win in the season.
I'm assuming that it must have been right as time expired that they got to the line. We've seen them. I mean, these guys have barely gone on to a 6th lap. I don't know what's just happened. I really don't, but we're assuming this is for the race win. They're still after it. Andy McEwen, Casper DeCourt. Casper's going to go to the left side. He's got a big run here on Andy. Into the chase for the final time.
Yeah, going to the kink. The number 5 might just have the lead for the time being. Yes, he does. The number 4 is going to try to go around the outside, trying to squeeze the number 5. Not going to be able to do it. But looks like the number 5 just leaves a little bit of room, and that's exactly what the number 4 needs.
Andy could slide him behind him and move him, or is he going to stay side by side? He'll stay side by side. Door banging down to the final corner. Contact there with Casper and Andy McEwen. McEwen through the grass will take 2nd. Casper DeCourt will take the race win here in race 3. And yes, the results now sort themselves out. Wow. So Lee Holmes had whatever happened there on the final lap, and he's going to come home, I think, in 11th, 12th?
Nathan Davis as well dropping off. He's not in the top 10. He's 17th according to the timing sheets.
So that likely would have been the contact we saw. It must have been so confused by us, you know, these guys taking the checker or the white flag right as time expired. I can only imagine anyways. I'm guessing that that's what happened. This is going to take us a second to get through, JP, so let's get the invert first this time, all right? 15 and 17, the first 2 inverts. Invert for race number 4 is going to give us the following. It's not going to be full. It could be 12 or 16. It's going to stay 12, it looks like, which is only going to put Chris Knox on pole. Boy, that is something. Let's go ahead and get back over to the sim. Then it's a 12-car invert. What just happened? So this... Let's see if we can find a better spot here to rejoin. So... Casper DeCourt, Tom Griffiths, Michael Sill. We might even have to go further back. Because Lee Holmes has already had a problem, it looks like. Yes, he has. So we've got to go even further back here. Well, here we go. This should give us a nice little view. Let's back up a little bit further and let it play through. So this is what we're used to seeing, right? Andy McEwen was out front by a little ways. Lee Holmes was 2nd. Casper DeCourt 3rd. Nathan Davies behind in 4th. Davies at the inside of the chase. Gets in really deep. Forces Lee Holmes way off the racetrack. He goes off as well. Lee gets on right in front of Jason Cooper. They all kind of back up and pack up. Cooper's going to go to the right side. And Nathan Davies, I'm assuming, gets in deep again. He does get in deep. Contact there with Jason Cooper. Cooper fights back. Contact there. Davies comes over and just pounds Lee Holmes. That's just reckless racing at the end. I'm sorry. Nathan Davies, he's always got a great heart. Races certainly with as much heart as he can muster up, but that's just reckless.
Yeah, that was just a bit over the top. And yeah, unfortunately costed, as you can see, Lee Holmes just unfortunately dragging his car over what would be the white flag, right, Angel? That wasn't the checkers as well, so yeah, just unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, this is still with one more lap to go. If this was the final corner of the race, maybe, right? I kind of get it, but he's not even battling for a championship, and now he's going to impact guys like Casper DeCourt and Lee Holmes and Jason Cooper, who are racing for a championship. Granted, the championships we're sure have been decided at this point, but it's still reckless to come out here and force these guys to take a drop, really. That's just unfortunate to see. To get in deep like that after getting in deep the corner before, I mean, that's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, just battling way too hard, maybe for a lost battle at that point.
I always admire the big moves, and I admire the, going after it almost with abandon, but man, sometimes there's limits to those moves. Let's go ahead and get the race results though out of race number 3. Finishing in the first spot, of course, Casper DeCourt, JP.
Casper, yeah, absolutely. Casper wins, race number 3 ahead of Andy McEwen. Jason Cooper is going to finish 3rd place. I mean, this has just been an impressive round, as usual for him, I guess we can say. Tom Griffiths in 4th place, Michael Seeley in 5th, James Clark in 6th place, Ben Williams in 7th, James Neve in 8th, Julian Schroer in 9th place, and Adam Dalman is going to round off our top 10.
Finishing 11th, you'll find Glenn Humberstone. He will finish 2nd in Pro-Am. So Schroer gets the win there in race number 3. Humberstone 2nd. Chris Knox is good enough for 12th in that race, and will then get the pole for race number 4. Humberstone will start from 2nd, Delmont 3rd, and Schroer 4th. Nick Clibbins misses it by 1 spot. He will start from 13th after finishing 13th. Lars Fischer 14th. Lee Holmes there in 15th spot after all of that chaos coming to the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams. Colin Sansom in 16th. Adam Fox, Craig Schill, Nathan Davies gets dropped down here. And actually, I'm not so sure. So, timing and scoring and what you're seeing in the results graphic are a little bit different. My timing and scoring still lists Davies in 17th, but obviously you see Craig Schill in 17th. It shows them both as 17th spot. So, obviously, Adamans will do what they've got to do, but the results show us with a top 20 there for Alistair Hatcher and Fiona Siddons.
21st place we go to Nathan Davies, 22nd to Adam Fox, Douglas Stewart in 23rd place, all of them a lap down, 2 laps down, Liam Silkstone in 24th place and Roger Morton in 25th, 4 laps down for Thor Tulo in 26th and Michael Lees in 27th, and Mark Oliver in 20th place, unfortunately 5 laps down for him.
Let's go back, and I still don't know quite what happened, right? Obviously, we saw the incident into Murray's, but there's got to be more to this story, I'd have to imagine. There has to be something else here. And as well, Lars Fischer dropped well back. I thought he was higher up in the order. He was just behind just behind Jason Cooper. Let's ride on board here with Lars Fischer at the end. We're on board with car 96. This is just one of the, we've had some properly bizarre race finishes today, JP. I don't know that you can top this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't really think we could top the flying Chris Knox on race number 2, but somehow this did as well. It's just so confusing, and I'm interested as well to know what happened to Lars Fischer, because as you mentioned, he was running well in the race, so it has to happen either on the chase or the final corner.
I would imagine, in all of that mess with Murray's, I think he was involved in some of that. Or he went off right here and maybe had a spin. I just don't know. I recall him being in the battle, and then he finishes 14th, and it also could have been the last lap. That's what we want to find out what happened here. So there's all of that setting up. Nathan Davies up the inside, and I just think driving standards certainly are going to have to apply there. There'll obviously be a penalty for all that. I mean, it's just a string of events really caused by one car. And I'm sure if Nathan could have that string of corners back, he would. And he would do it differently. And that's the point of racing, I think, on a sim, is you get a chance to learn, right? As this is the onboard for Lars Fischer. He checks up. So it was Fischer that stopped with these guys. It wasn't Jason Cooper. The same liveries do get confusing after a while. And, yeah, Lars Fischer gets on going. I guess that does it.
Yeah, that's going to do it for him, unfortunately. Just bad luck to be involved in that accident. Not even involved, right? Just, being cautious.
Lee Holmes, of course, fell way back. Has to let Paul Donkin go there. Granted, I think Paul Donkin crashes on this final lap somewhere. He's not listed as 1 lap down, but he might have actually been 1 lap down in the results. Yeah, timing and scoring definitely took a goof with all of that coming to the white flag.
I mean, it was just an insane white flag. And now, actually, yeah, that's a good point. I think Paul Duncan was a lap down on the standings as well. I can see both of his mirrors hanging off, and I wonder if it was on the first sector of the racetrack as well, Andrew.
I don't know. That's the magic about it, is I simply don't know. So we'll let that race be what it be, right? That's race number 3. Let's go ahead and get ready for race number 4. Before we take our break, though, before we take our intermission, I do want to remind everybody we've got a lot of broadcasts coming at Pit Stop TV, as always. And this is a look at what we've got this weekend. It's a week full of road racing, JP. Of course, today at Bathurst. We're back here at Bathurst on Thursday. But in between, we've got round number 2 for the North American Racing League Porsche Cup season at Daytona International Speedway on the road course. An amateur race of, I want to say 40 minutes, or was it 30? I actually forget. I think it was 30 minutes last week. Should be 30 minutes again this week, of course, and 50 minutes then for the pros and pro-ams. Wednesday, it's Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the Outlaws Sim Series. Emerson Arden's going to have very much fun producing that one, I think. That's going to be interesting. NASCAR Next Gen cars, you've seen the promo a couple of times already today for the NASCAR Next Gen. They are competing with all those new parts and components up in Canada for the Outlaw Sim Series. That's going to be tons and tons of fun, I think. And Thursday, right back here at Bathurst, we have the weekend almost off. SCAR is back. The Superior Class Auto Racing Grid Sports Car Championship is back this weekend at Laguna Seca this time. And we'll go off into California, I think, with certainly a lot to settle with those GT1 cars, Aston Martins and Corvettes alike. That all gets started at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday evening, and then right back around to a new week of racing. Of course, BSR is done after this week, at least for this season, but North American Racing League action will continue next week on March the 1st, it will be. March the 1st at Long Beach Street Course, and then we might even have a surprise for you, maybe even a double feature on Wednesday. You got to stick around and find out, JP, and there's a lot of ways to follow along.
Absolutely. Yeah, obviously, for live updates and news on upcoming broadcasts, you should follow us on facebook.com/pitstoptv and twitter.com/pitstoptv_. Instagram as well for amazing shot and post-race coverage as well, with highlights and all that sort of stuff on instagram.com/pit_stop_tv. And obviously live coverage from YouTube and Twitch as well.
We'll wrap up here from race number 3 and get ready to go for race number 4 in just a few moments. It's coming quicker than you think. Go ahead and grab that bag of popcorn out of the microwave. Grab another bit of whatever you want to drink. Glass of water. Maybe a little more exciting than that. I don't know. Grab whatever refreshment. Get back to your seat and get ready for what is going to be a wild, wild end to Trophy Tuesdays here in this winter season. Just like that. I promised it would be a short intermission that time around. We burned a little bit of time there, and we are already ready to go for race number 4. Another 15 minutes of racing on deck here at JP. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. This final round definitely promises a lot. And of the great racing that we have, we were used to, I guess, throughout since December 28th. The final one of the season, Andrew. Well, it all comes down to this.
It really does. And if you take a look at the standings, of course, like I said, we can't update it for you, unfortunately. on screen, but what we can do is describe it to you, and it's definitely a large gap up front. Jason Cooper with a massive 275-point advantage over Andy McEwen. Tom Griffith slots into third, 333 out of the race lead, or out of the points lead. Casper DeCourt is fourth, Adam Delmont fifth. Those two are both very close. Lars Fischer over Michael Seal for 6th and 7th. Liam Silkstone is 8th in the overall standings, and far and away will be your Pro-Am champion. We hope to talk to him in a little bit. Julian Schroer then will take 2nd in class. Paul Donkin might be able to say something about it, but it's looking like the Gonzo Racing 578 will take that spot. Douglas Stewart would come in 4th. Ben Williams back there in 18th overall in the standings, but if you get down to the amateur class, JP, Adam Mitchinson, while not here today, is going to use the drops to his advantage and should still claim this championship. 19th currently in the overall standings. It is looking like he will at least keep a top 20, if not 19th, and will certainly take the amateur championship. A proper season out of each of our champions. One more race to go, but we can just about officially say Jason Cooper, Liam Silkstone, and Adam Mitchinson are your 3 champions this season. And just like that, a field of cars ready to go, 12 being inverted. Let's meet them all up front. Starting on pole for this race now, you will have the 23 of Chris Knox. It's Glenn Humberstone starting from the 2nd spot. Starting 3rd, you'll find Adam Delmont, Julian Schroer in 4th. And the back end of the top half of the invert, JP, it's James Neve and Ben Williams.
7th place will go the ways of James Clark and Michael Steele in 8th place. 9th place and row number 5 is going to go the way of Tom Griffiths and Jason Cooper, but we have red lights, Andrew.
We always get so close, don't we? We always get so close, but they just will not let us finish the grid. Green flag is out for race 4. On board with Nick Clibbins, up the mountain straight. The final lap 1 of the season. Let's go on board a little further up. Adam Delmont here. This should be a fun start to this race. This should be a fun race 4.
Absolutely, this is gonna be a fun race 4. We all know it. As you can see, a few drivers going side by side, and Andrew, this was a spot in race number 2 which didn't end so well. Looks like a bit of contact with that with the number 578, but well, with that, looks like everybody makes it through clean. And no, a puff of smoke.
Douglas Stewart back here, and he backs into the wall to add insult to injury. It looks like he is the lone victim here on lap number 1. Let's go back up front. Chris Knox, your race leader.
Still leading and trying to create a bit of a gap at the end of lap 1, trying to get that 1.2, 1.3 essential to break away from the slipstream.
Ben Williams!
That could end very badly.
I think he's gotten through. Yes, he has, and now I think he might have gone around. No, he's still going, but that was definitely a drift out of the dipper.
Wow, that was definitely a save. I'm pretty sure his heart was definitely racing with it. Oh, looks like...
Humberstone
is that Glenn
wide.
Humberstone? Yes, he just went wide. Looks like he's going to be losing 1 position, maybe 2 by the end of the straightaway. Paul Donkin going side by side. But wow, Fiona Sid, as you can see. Oh, we have a spinner.
Michael Leese around, and he's going to claim his teammate. The Pro-Am champion. A lot of damage. Liam Silkstone. That car is destroyed almost.
Oh, no, that is such a shame.
So Liam's going to work down Conrad straight all by his lonesome. We'll go back up front. Tom Griffith doing battle here with James Clark on the inside. Clark slots in behind him.
Trying just at the end of lap 1, trying maybe to be a little bit cautious, James Clark. Trying not to fight too hard. As you can see, we have a battle for 2nd place. James Neve trying to go to the outside of Glenn Humberstone. Can he do it? Just about, but looks like he's going to be forced to go on the back as we have 3 wide action for 5th place, looks like, Andrew.
Great battles through the entire top 10. Humberstone falls in behind Neve. Here's a nice little battle. Tom Griffiths with a lunge. It's real aggressive there with Schroer and Williams. You can see cars tracking out to the dirt. Let's go on board with Michael Seal in the BSR, number 57.
You can see just this view from the number 57 trying to get the slipstream, but well, at this point, Andrew, is just a train. The slipstream you're gonna get might not just be enough for you to move up. As you can see, number 4 of Andy McEwen just ahead of him, and it looks like we're gonna have a few battles. So this whole group is gonna slow down quite a bit. As you can see, Andy McEwen getting on the brakes mid-corner, trying to avoid Clark. And wow, Andrew, this is interesting.
This won't end well. Lars Fischer moves over in front of Lee Holmes. That was close. They make contact. Oh my goodness, what a group of race cars.
What a group, and everybody made it cleanly.
For now, there's still a whole lot of mountain to go. This is only lap number 2 of 6. Oh boy, cars going wide now. They're starting to move around.
They're starting to move on. You can see Jason Cooper trying to get past Tom Griffiths. Well, he just got past Jason Schroer. So, well, that was one position for him. Now just behind the number 11, as you can see here, just how tight it is with 2 cars. It's already tied with just one, with 2, well, half the racetrack is essentially gone, but everybody makes it through safely on the uphill section. And now comes the danger as well, Andrew, the downhill.
Through the dipper, man, that is satisfying to watch. We'll head towards Forest Elbow. Look at these guys. They've all strung out now, from that 2-3 wide battling to single file now to Forest Elbow.
But everybody makes it through cleanly. And well, that was about it, Andrew. That was an intense action. Well, it's not done yet. Well, I take that back.
No, it is not. That was Jason Cooper, Tom Griffiths, and Casper DeCourt going after it. They're still battling. The teammates working together on the right side of the racetrack, trying to push by the Excite number 11. And you can see the battle behind as well with Andy McEwen. James Clark is going to go wide. Oh, boy.
Oh boy, this could end very badly. Oh, and there we go. We have a bit of contact, but only one car goes
and that's
wide.
Schroer. Oh, and he gets Donkin.
No!
Oh my goodness. Schroer collects the 529 of Paul Donkin, turns him around. Big contact between those two. There's Michael Seal battling with Nick Klibbins and Lars Fischer. Andy McEwen right behind a 2-3 wide. Here we go. Casper DeCourt, Ben Williams, Jason Cooper. Williams on the outside of Cooper now for turn 1.
He's gonna have a couple. Oh, Cooper gets loose a little bit on the exit, maybe just getting a bit too much curb.
And Lee Holmes is around.
Oh no!
My gosh, the hits keep coming. Race 4 is certainly living up to its hype here. Tom Griffiths pushing, and I mean pushing Ben Williams, Casper DeCourt pushing Jason Cooper, and we will go to Griffin's Bend, turn 2. Can they stay like this?
Probably not quite. Oh, it's Casper
contact
DeCourt
there with Griffiths and McEwen.
Oh, this could end very badly. Jason Cooper gets the position. Casper DeCourt somehow he makes it work on the outside. Cooper makes a little bit of contact with the wall. And somehow, Andrew, 3 rows of 2 wides, and everybody's still pointing at the same direction.
James Clark, Nick Klibbins, Andy McEwen, they're after it. Getting handsy as well. McEwen lays a bumper there to Clark. That's a dangerous place to do it. That's where I reckon the 12 hour.
Well, any place on the racetrack is dangerous to do it, Andrew. We're in Bathurst.
Well, there's a couple of places. You could do it, I think, without wrecking them. But that was close, certainly, as they work to Skyline now. Teammates ahead of this group. Chris Knox is leading over Adam Delmont and James Neve. This is just too good in the midfield to leave.
Oh, too good. You can see Clark got a compromised line, as you can see now on board with Ben Williams, trying to hold off Tom Griffiths, who's just ahead of, looks like Andy McEwen. Yeah, his championship competitor. You can see trying to get past Clark. Oh, he was really close to the wall right there.
Andy kissed it just a little bit. Let's go up front. Chris Knox, Adam Delmont into the chase. Here we go.
You can see now the drag race, the number 77. Will he help and just give a little bit of a push to number 23? Or will he go down the inside? Yeah, not quite. Just being a little bit cautious. And this kind of reminds me of something, Andrew.
Yep.
It wasn't... I saw this. Is this what you call flashback deja vu?
Deja vu, that's right, to race number 2. Great battling through the entire field. It's hard to pick a battle and stay on a battle. There's just such good racing throughout the entirety of this field right now. Teammates Jason Cooper and Casper DeCourt are now 5th and 6th. Michael Seal takes a look at Andy McEwen and James Clark, pops back in behind him. McEwen is 10th, Clark is 11th, and Seal is 12th. And of course, you have the leader still going after it, as the teammates are trying to draft up to them. Glenn Humberstone is there as well, a Pro-Am.
With an excellent race as well. he had a good race number 3, and race number 4 is no different.
On board with James Neve. He follows Adam Delmont and Chris Knox. Now the difference to race 2 is he started on pole and got caught by these two and did some racing. And of course, Chris Knox then went off through the dirt and took the jump on the last lap. I think that's going to change in this race, though.
Yeah, this could definitely change right now. He's keeping up pace with these two, but you saw under braking, Andrew, Delmont really lifting off, just waiting for his time. So he knows the opportunity is not right now. He still has at least 2 extra laps to try and make the move on Chris Knox, or he's just waiting for the final lap. The final opportunity, then Chris Knox has nothing to answer to him. So this might just be a patience game.
I think that's a good way to put it, a patience game right now. It's lap 4 of maybe 7. We're getting close here, and I think that could have been the issue as well. The last race is maybe it went that extra lap. I didn't check lap counts, but we're very close to maybe getting 7 laps here in this race. That would be a bit unprecedented, I think.
That definitely showed the good pace that these two are showing. Obviously running in tandem and, well, helping each other on the straightaways. Definitely helping. Well, Andrew, look at that gap. Oh, as Tom Griffith spins around, looks like on the dipper.
Yes. Contact with Nick Clibbins. And there come a few more drivers. Let's get a replay of this for Tom Griffiths. So we'll join Griffiths in the cutting here. He is behind the teammates of Cooper and DeCourt. He's ahead of Ben Williams and Nick Clibbins. Let's watch that yellow Excite Energy number 11. He's going to have problems in Skyline and the Dipper, I would imagine. Ben Williams certainly putting some pressure on through the series of parks. That just sweeping left hand as a whole. And James Clark has just had a problem live. We'll cover that in just a moment.
You can see now the number 11. This is where the incident will happen. You can see him going through the Skyline. And now
Williams had a problem behind him. And Williams comes through after that contact with the wall. Wow.
And that's just, well, somehow everybody makes it through cleanly, everybody checking up a little bit. So that's just unfortunate for the number 11. But luckily for him, not a lot of damage.
And somewhere up the road, we've got a problem for James Clark, and I think it might be this. Yes, contact with Ben Williams. He comes over. Contact with Michael Seal. Oh, no. My goodness. Michael Seal and Nick Clibbins catching air. Wow.
That was a massive hit. I thought it was just going to be one driver, but, well, 3 of them are out in the race just like that.
Let's see how this all kind of starts. Let's go on board with Michael Seal. And he's going to get a good view of that incident in the Dipper. Right after this, we'll go back to live picture and get the end of this race. We're now expecting only 6 laps instead of 7. This is on board with Seal. You'll see the incident first where Ben Williams gets into Adam Delmont. And then you'll see all of this spark up. So this is really important, actually, to understand how this all sets up. Because you see Ben Williams. You see James Clark. Williams now back in another incident. Seal challenges Clibbins. This is into the Forest Elbow. Wow.
And now everything's going to happen. You can see going downhill. Essentially a drag race between those two. Looks like Seal or Clibbins is getting the benefit of the slipstream. You can see the number 13 just edging out a little bit. But this is where it will happen, and you can see number 20 tries to go down the inside. It makes a little bit of contact over there, and it just kind of gets glued together.
It's that same dangerous blocking we saw in race 1 from Ben.
Yes. And then he just rejoins, but wow.
Nick Clibbins got some air there.
Oh, absolutely. You got, unfortunately for him, that was, I guess, not the air he was expecting to celebrate the ending of the season.
No. And props to those guys for missing those cars after that incident as well. Tom Griffiths nearly clobbered, what was that? I already forgot, Lee Holmes? No, James Clark. Yeah, almost clobbered James Clark head on. Glad he missed him. Here's some battling down to the chase. We'll get the white flag this time. Here are your leaders.
And you can see Chris Knox leading Adam Delmont and James Neve just behind, trying to hold off. And, well, Andrew, with the last lap to go, who are your bets on, the number 23 or the number 77?
A great question. White flag is out, presented by Tucson Sound Art, presented by Whiplash Simcams. As Chris Knox. Oh boy, he's got some defending that he's got to do on this last lap. Teammates Jason Cooper and Casper DeCourt behind as well. Glenn Humberstone has fallen back to 6th. He is your Pro-Am race leader. And, well, more than likely be. He's got almost 20 seconds back to Paul Donkin. Will more than likely be your Pro-Am race winner here in a few moments. He's got some help from Andy McEwen, and I'm sure Andy will be easy on him here at the end. Craig Schill, Colin Sansom, they are first and second in amateur, and they are going to have a nice little battle, I think, on this last lap. Alistair Hatcher there as well.
Yeah, this is an interesting battle for the lead of the amateur class. As you can see, Colin Sansom just getting a run on Craig Schill. Will Craig defend? Not quite. So they're going to drag race, and Craig is going to have the outside line. They nearly make contact under braking, and who's going to come out on top? Craig goes really wide, just yanking that serial, trying to hold on for the position. That's not going to work. So Colin Sansom...
Contact!
Oh, no!
They crash. Alistair gets by.
No!
They catch Lee Holmes. Wow. Who moved into who? Well, that's the amateur race win. Let's go up front to the pro race win. Chris Knox defending over Adam Delmont. Skyline for the final time. Now to the Dipper.
Now the Dipper, the 23, has to absolutely nail this final section. Do you want to create a gap to the number 77, or do you want him as close as possible entering the straightaway?
Here we go.
The strategies.
I think he's... Oh, he gets the wall.
But no!
He might still be okay. It's going to take a lot here, and James Neve is going to have maybe an open door. Chris Knox might have just given that all away. Adam Delmont going to try and break the slipstream. We'll go down to the chase for the final time. The final race of the Trophy Tuesdays winter season at Bathurst. It's race 36 on the season, 9 rounds in total, and it comes down to this. Teammates will battle behind, but up front, this is your top 3. Chris Knox going to have a look to the outside, closes right up to Adam Delmont, as close as he can get. He's going to have a chance here into Murray's for the final time. Delmont's going to protect. Chris Knox, can he go around the outside? James Neve sits back. Oh, sideways on the grass! And Delmont's going to win it.
Delmont's going to win. The strategy for Chris Knox did not work. He held off James Neve. Jason Cooper's going to finish ahead of Casper DeCord. No, Casper DeCord is going to beat his teammate for 4th place. And then comes Andy McEwen, Glenn Hubberston, Lars Fisher, Ben Williams, and Tom Griffiths. In a few seconds, will cross the line to round off our top 10. Wow.
Oh, into the wall there for Alistair Hatcher, but Alistair will get the amateur race win. How about that for somebody who joined us last week? Fiona Siddons will go 2nd. Mark Oliver will go 3rd in class. And Lee Holmes crawls across the line after that contact between Craig Schill and Colin Sansom. I still can't believe that.
On the last lap, a battle for the lead on the final race of the season. It's just really unfortunate that it did happen.
Yeah. Sansom will finish 17th. Craig Schill will be next up, and actually, I think maybe doing some battle with Liam Silkstone down to the end. Yeah, Craig Schill, oh my goodness, look at that car. Props to him for trying to finish this race.
Absolutely, just doing what he can, I guess, to make sure the last lap of the season is done by his own strength. And, oh, is that Silkstone?
I think he jumped the gun on the jump a little bit, as we do have cars going around the racetrack, I think, getting ready to do said jump in just a moment. These guys are still big. They are still digging big time. Chris Knox, James Neve. Chris is going to go straight through Skyline, it looks like. Let's not crash him up before we get to do the jump here, boys.
I mean, Chris already did his jump on race number 2, so...
That's right. He's got practice.
Yeah, he definitely knows the line, the perfect line. As you can see, we have kind of a traffic jam, looks like, Andrew, to get to the jump spot.
Yeah, these guys are going to try and form up, I think, in Forest Elbow, potentially, and get organized. I know they were talking about... Maybe they're not going to form up. I know they were initially talking about going 3-4 wide across it, but here we go. To end the season in style, or something like that. You see, working past all the Bathurst vineyards, Chris Knox, James Neve, and the 5-star Motorsports guys, they'll be the first to the jump. Let's go on board then with Lars Fish. Let's see if we can get it here. And congratulations to that guy in the middle, the one car, Jason Cooper, will take the season championship. What a proper season he's run.
Oh, absolutely. A champion season, as you can see the rest of the drivers filing down, trying to follow the line. It's just fun to see drivers like this finishing off the season And everybody, I'm pretty sure, Andrew, is smiling, especially those that are flipping.
You know, Siddons comes on through, several others. Look at the carnage there at exit. That is certainly one way to end the season. I think Colin Sansom will be the next one across, potentially the last one across, as, oh no, Colin! There's a perfectly good jump there! Well, I think he had his fun. What I do want to go back and look at is actually this incident with Colin Sansom from a lap to go there. He and Craig Schill had a nice little running together, and that, unfortunately, is a bad way for both of them to end their season. Let's go back and look at it. Sansom at the inside, Schill on the outside.
And this is going to be a good look to see who moved up on who. I guess maybe it's just 50-50 at that point. I don't know.
I don't think you can call fault there. I really think that is quintessential racing incident.
Because at that point, Colin's definitely going to defend a little bit, and obviously Craig Schill is going for the racing line a little bit, so they kind of just met in the middle.
Unfortunately, I think we've got to chalk that up to a racing incident. Let's get another look at it here. This will be a good view. I mean, if anything, maybe Colin comes over. That's just so close. Might have another good view here. High above the mountain. Slow this down. Yeah, I think if anything, Colin comes over a little bit, but it's so close. That's quintessential guys racing for a class win. Lee Holmes, unfortunately, nowhere to go. And fortunately, that is the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. And obviously it's the last lap of the season, so they're definitely going to go for it, especially if it's a battle for the win. So It's unfortunate that it happened, but, well, as you mentioned, it's racing instant, I guess.
With that, of course, a season of racing is in the books. We've talked about it week in, week out, the season these guys put together from Donington all the way to Mount Panorama. All the racing is done, but the conversations are not quite done yet, JP. Let's go ahead and speak with some drivers after this one, and I'm going to hand you right on over to our champion, Jason Cooper.
So, Jason, I mean, a champion season. How do you look back over the season after being crowned the BSR champion?
Yeah, another very enjoyable championship. Very consistent this season. Didn't have any DNFs at all. So apart from missing the first round when I was on holiday, the rest of it's gone pretty well.
And about your practice, I mean, what are the secrets that just bring out your pace? I mean, you're just dominant qualifying. You show great pace and great, I guess, racecraft during those races. How much practice do you put in?
Not as much as people probably think. Last week for Brands Hatch, I just turned up and raced. So.
Well, I mean, it definitely works for you. And I mean, just how many questions we could ask you. How fun was it Bathurst today?
Oh, I love Bathurst. Racing away is always amazing. It's always a bit of a lottery if there's going to be a bit of a car park going up the mountain. But no, I really enjoyed it tonight. Managed to avoid all the crashes and four pretty good results.
And how challenging it is, especially with the inverts, to just come back through the field and just battling. And obviously, on each and every single race, we saw you in the top 5 just battling. How difficult is it and how tricky it is to line up your moves?
It's really hard because the draft's so strong here, and if there's a bit of a gap, then it's quite hard to catch back up and get back in the draft. But really depends what the guys in front of you are doing, if they're battling, whether they're working together. I really enjoyed the racing tonight, so thanks for everyone who had some pretty decent, clean racing.
And looking forward, what are the plans for Jason Cooper, and what are the plans for your team as well?
I don't think we spoke about that yet, so we'll have a chat, see if we want to come back again next year and try to defend the crown. Thank you.
Well, absolutely, and now I'm gonna give you the stage to thank your sponsors, to thank everybody that makes this special for you, because a champion definitely deserves that. So the stage is yours. Thank whoever you have to thank.
Obviously, my teammates Casper and Lars, the rest of the 5-star Motorsport team. It's always great racing with them every week and having a bit of banter behind the scenes as well. Obviously, thank you to everyone who organises the league, Michael and obviously everyone who turns up for the stewards review on a Wednesday, and then they put in a lot of effort with that, and it's never an easy job. So thanks a lot for them doing that, and obviously for you guys doing the stream. I really enjoy watching it back every week. So thanks a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And with that being said, it was a pleasure having you. Racing at a BSR was a pleasure talking to you. And, well, I wish you all the best for the future. And hopefully we can talk again someday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Cheers, guys. Speak to you soon.
Well, Andrew, that was Jason Cooper. That was our champion. And what a season he's had.
Yeah, it comes down to, let's see here. I actually didn't log the last race wins. But we had Adam Delmont winning that race. You know, I actually don't recall. Who won race number 3? Do we remember?
It's Casper DeCourt. No, it was Casper DeCourt, wasn't he?
Was it Casper getting a second race win on the day? I want to make sure I have this right. I think you're right about Casper, but I want to make sure because I want to talk on the amount of wins he got, and yes, it was Casper. You're right. So Casper got that third race, which props to him for a really good day of racing. Casper DeCourt was fantastic today. But when it comes down to it, Jason Cooper, on the season, 11 wins. I think, you know, I get it if the champion takes number 1, but maybe consider taking 11 next season, Jason. 11 wins kind of just sounds like that works out. Just incredible. 11 wins, that's almost a third of the season, JP. Stellar stuff. We do have Chris Knox in the waiting. We'll go ahead and bring him in. And JP, here is finisher number 2 in today's race.
So Chris Knox, well, there you go. Looks like you were talking, but I mean, what a season you had. How would you look back? Would you do anything different? How fun was the season? Talk me through it.
Maybe turn up for more races, probably, but I had work abroad, so had to miss out on 2-3 weeks, I think it was, but yeah, tonight was a lot of fun.
I mean, it sure was. I'm pretty sure race number 2, the ending was quite fun. What was that strategy?
I just wanted to see if it was possible, if I could do the jump and then clear the slowdown before the line, and I was 1 second different going over the line. So if you want to do the jump and win, you need to be at least 2 seconds in front of the guy behind you.
Well, absolutely. And with race number 4, unfortunately, your strategy just leaving Adam Delmont the room on the inside did not work. How close was it? And how did you plan for it?
Done quite a few races around here in the Mazda, and you don't want to be leading onto the back straight. So I tried into turn 2 to defend, so he would go left. And if he did go left, I was going to brake really early just to let him go. But he stayed behind me, so that didn't work. And then I thought, well, my only chance really is to run wide intentionally at the devil's elbow, but unfortunately I caught the marbles on the exit and it just slapped off the wall, which killed all my straight line speed. But yeah, still had a go into the final turn, but yeah, it just wasn't close enough. But it was a good race, enjoyed that. And
well, looking to the future, what are the plans for the number 23? Will you retire the number? Will you try a different number next season? Maybe a new livery? What are the plans?
No, I'll keep the number. 23 is a number I've used since I was about 10 years old, so I'll stick with that. Yeah, might switch up, having a different livery, but I quite like the Lego one. It stands out on the stream.
Oh, absolutely. And well, with that being said, I mean, I'm going to give you the stage again to, well, thank whoever you have to thank for your season and a lot of sort of stuff. And, well, there you go, have it.
It was a good season. Thanks to you guys for putting on a good show. I've enjoyed watching them back. Yeah, looking forward to going and watching it later on.
And well, absolutely, and hopefully we can talk to you in the future. Hopefully we can have plenty more interviews, because you're not only a fun guy to watch on the racetrack, you're also a fun guy to talk to. So, thank you.
All right, see you guys soon. Take care.
And Andrew, that was the number 23 driver of Chris Knox and his Lego machine. He was quite happy with the season, I dare say, and unfortunately for him, having to miss out a few races, but hopefully we can see plenty more of him, you know, throughout the year and throughout the seasons.
Couldn't quite put the pieces together there for a race win in round number 9, but he does come to the checkered flag of the final race of the day just behind this guy, Adam Delmont, who I think put a pretty proper season together himself. Adam, it's another race win in the final round. That comes out to a total of 5 on the season, and that's second total out of the entire field. That's at least got to, I think, make things feel a little nicer.
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously I was in a shout for a top 3 up until a couple of weeks ago, and I just had a bad 2 weeks and obviously tumbled down a bit. So yeah, I've just enjoyed and relaxed these last few rounds, and obviously well done to top 3. Obviously dependent on protests, etc., but as it stands right now, well done to those boys. Yeah, it's been fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, top 5 in the standings and a teammate taking 3rd place in the standings is pretty promising, I'd say. I know it was a rough season, a lot of drama, I'm sure a lot of hard feelings, but also maybe, putting that all behind you guys now with the season closed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a bit of a running joke in XI because I'm known as the angry little driver. When I'm driving, I drive on adrenaline, so I can be quite ragey. But I soon calm down, and once I've calmed down, I'm fine. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold grudges with anybody. I never do. People, obviously, you get frustrated in the heat of the moment. At times, you say things that you don't always mean. It's just slip of the tongue, and then 10 minutes later, you're fine. But it's a good crack, and I enjoy it anyway. And to be honest, over the season, I'd say the good far outweighs any negativity with the racing. I've had some phenomenal races this season, and some of the drivers have just been fantastic to race with. So, it's the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of a championship, I suppose.
There have certainly been some wild moments this season, and you saw your fair share of them. How do you sum it all up? 36 races in total, 9 weeks of racing. How do you sum that all up?
Roller coaster. I think that about sums it up perfectly.
I think that's perfectly fair. A top 5 on the season for you, Adam. 5 wins. 5 wins. Do you maybe use number 5 next season? Do you try and get that away from Casper? Because, 5 wins, 5th place in the standings. maybe?
Yeah, potentially I might do. I am partial to me 37 or me 77, to be fair. But, I might try a new number. Never know. It might bring me a bit more luck. Hopefully I can get a few more race wins than 5.
Well, there you go. You led the last lap of race 4. You got the race win. Maybe get a tryout number 5 next time. We'll see. But who makes it happen for you over at Excite Energy Racing?
Just all the lads, the team wouldn't be what it is without them. We are literally the banter team. I think sometimes we are a bit strong with it, but it's just who we are. We do try and keep it clean. Unfortunate things happen, but we all enjoy the racing, and then lads, they keep you together. And when you maybe feeling a bit down and can't really be bothered, lads are always there, telling each other to come on.
There you go, a proper season of racing done by Adam Delmont. Adam, congratulations on another win. Congratulations on a top 5 in the standings, and we'll see you next time around.
Yeah, thank you very much, and just very quickly, thank you to you guys, the admin, all the drivers. Again, congrats on the top 3s across classes and the constructors. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Have a good one, and I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Thanks for your time, buddy. Have a good one. Go grab yourself a beer as well. We'll talk to you soon. That is Adam Delmont, finishing up the season. Always good to talk to these guys. We've got a few more here, JP. Looks like 3 more. And you know what? Let's go ahead and start off with our Pro-Am champion. He's headed your way.
So, Liam, now we can officially crown you as the champion. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a bit annoying because I've had a mega season and I've had a good laugh with you guys all the way through. Tonight has been shocking, I will be honest. So it sort of takes the shine away. As I'm looking at the stream now, there's my broken Mazda. So, yeah, I'm happy, but it should have finished better.
Yeah, definitely. We kind of, obviously we were following you throughout not only the season, but throughout the race as well. And we kind of got a glimpse.
No one else were following me.
But yeah, we kind of got the glimpse of the bad luck. And, it did not end until the last race. But, how do you look back on the season? How do we reflect on this champion season that you've had?
Yeah, so I want to do a shout out to all the other Pro-Am drivers that were in there. When I was chatting in the interview waiting room, I was saying, you got Paul Donkin. Paul Donkin's won 2 races. He has been mega, but because he's not turned up for every race, it's given me a jump. Holloway gave me a fright between rounds 3 and 4 because he didn't turn up for round 1. He was quicker than me in round 2 and 3, and then with work, he couldn't turn up. And then Douglas Stewart, Julian Schroer, they're the same pace as me, but they've just got a bit unlucky. It's my first race tonight, but I wasn't really rushing. It was like chill out. I've had my first no score, so it's not the best of nights, but everyone else has kept me on my toes. Anyone could have won it if they just turned up for the whole season.
Well, but obviously you did at the end of the day. You're the champion, and that has to feel good, even though the last race didn't go your way. But looking forward, what are the plans for you?
So I'm doing BSR next year. We've got Nürburgring coming soon. Without going into my full life story, I'm pretty good around the Nürburgring because I had a lot of practice around there when I broke my ankle. So it was literally flappy paddles and an accelerator and a brake. So I've plenty of practice around there. We've got BSR next season, which will be a different lineup. Doing my ovals. I know you like your ovals. I won the Daytona 500 on Saturday. I haven't mentioned it, but I won. So we're quite happy with that one. So it's just keeping going from there.
Well, there you go. So congratulations on the victory of the Daytona 500. So now you're the Daytona and the BSR champion.
And Indy 500. I won that last year as well. My team laughed at me because it's like, can you just not turn right? I went, nope, can't turn right. You crane your neck down at Alton Park and it's like they're all right-handers. There's no lefts. So Donington Park, I'm pretty good. Crane of curves. But anyway.
There we go. So... well, with that being said, I'm going to leave you to thank whoever you have to thank for your amazing season. And, well, go for it.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people to thank. You guys, you've done an amazing stream. You've had to put up with me for like the back end of the season with the lovely interviews. I haven't thanked you through the season because I like popping in and out, and I want to do a thank you to you guys now. The admins for just a great serve. Everything's mega. The league all runs well. Excite, if McNally was here, he'd give you the full thing. And all the pro-ams that I've had a chance to race with this season. They've kept me on my toes and kept me focused to race. So,
oh, absolutely. Thank you for being not only the amazing driver, but the amazing person you are as well. And hopefully we can talk to you plenty more in the future.
And I will win a race. I will promise you that next season.
There you go. I cannot wait. Well, absolutely. Thank you for having us, Liam. And, well, with that being said, enjoy the rest of your night as a champion.
I will do. I'm going to have another beer.
Oh, there you go. And with that, Andrew, that was our Pro-Am winner and champion. Not winner, but champion, Liam Silkson.
Liam ran a pretty good season. Obviously, coming home with the Pro-Am champion is pretty big. And I think excited for that. Excite Energy Racing Blue. They take, actually, the team standings in Pro-Am. So between, let's see, Liam Silkstone and actually there should have been more. They're not listed. I wonder if maybe there's some changes that need to be made here, but you would have to think. Actually, I think it's Pro and Pro-Am potentially being included. So then you would start to include guys like Michael Leese, and I think there's got to be more than that, right? It feels like there were more than that contributed to that championship, but at least per the standings on their sheet, it says that Excite Energy Blue does take that Pro-Am championship, I suppose, for team standings. Anyways, we're gonna move on down the line to one car number 4. I figure, it's only fair that Andrew interviews Andrew on Tuesday, 2/22/22. We got 2 Andrews in the booth now. Andy, congratulations. You didn't get a race win today, but you made it through most of the crashes. Are you there, Andy? I hear him. Or at least I heard Andy McEwen. I think he might have stepped away. Was that maybe a sneeze that we heard, JP? I wonder.
Oh, it could be.
Well, a live listen in then to Andy McEwen, but I guess we'll move things down the line to, we'll give Fiona Siddons a chance then. JP, here's Fiona Siddons.
So, Fiona, obviously, it's good to talk to you again. And, well, that was the last race of the season. This is going to be the last interview of the season. How do you look back on it?
Oh, I'm happy. I've never been top 3 in the championship in class before. In that last race, I saw Chris and Colin, who I was battling with, came together and got craned off the circuit. And after that, I wasn't rushing to the end of the race. I just took my time and collected the points.
Well, absolutely, and I'm pretty sure with that result, you're going to finish second place in the amateur class, if I'm not mistaken. So, How do you feel about that?
I'm very happy.
Oh, there we go. A few words, but obviously, coming down to Bathurst, were you confident? Were you a bit, I guess, just taking a step back, just being a little more cautious? How how do you approach the last race of the season?
With how tight the AMP Championship was for second place, I was very nervous when we came into it tonight. I think I came in, was it P4 when we came in here? So,
I'm pretty sure you were P3. Not quite sure.
Was that P3, was that? Yes. Yeah, I think me and Colin was equal in P3 when we started. So, yeah, I was a little bit nervous, but it all went well for a change.
Well, absolutely. And looking to the future, what can we expect from Fiona?
Next season, a new team. It's good to get P2 in the AM class for my last season with Matthews Logistics, and I have to thank them for putting up with me for the last 3-4 seasons.
Absolutely. And who else do you have to thank for your results and obviously for the second place finish in your class?
Just everybody who supported me, from the team to everybody in BSR, who's, they're all friendly people and get on well with everybody.
Well, absolutely. And with that being said, Fiona, I hope I can talk to you plenty more in the future. It was a blast having you not only on the racetrack, but also on the commentary booth for these interviews. And, yes, with that being said, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your nights and I guess the break until the next season of BSR.
I'll be back on Thursday night for the last rounds of the
absolutely.
TCRs.
Okay, so enjoy the rest until Thursday because the TCRs are completely different monsters.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Looking forward to that. And in with a chance for P3 in TCR as well, I think, going into the last round. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be cheering for you, and hopefully we can talk to you on Thursday.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Andrew, that was Fiona Siddon's second place finish in the amateur class, gunning for third place as well on the TCR side of racing. So, that's going to be fun, and hopefully we can see plenty more of her throughout the seasons.
And I'm sure we will. Thursday is going to be an epic day of racing. I think it always feels like Tuesday gets us started and Thursday just kind of amps it up a little bit with those touring cars. But let's see if maybe the mic works a little better this time, Andy. We've got 2 Andrews in the booth on Tuesday, 2/22/22. And as I tried to make a little joke about before, congratulations on missing most of the wrecks and getting more than 6 laps complete today.
Yeah, thank you. Do you know what? I really enjoyed that little sort of numerology you were doing, and I tried to tell you so, and my microphone wouldn't let me, so apologies about that. But yeah, all sorted now, I hope. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you this time. Much better. We heard what sounded like a sneeze the first time. We heard that twice, and that was it. But loud and clear now, and, it was certainly good racing with you and everybody else up front. What was, I guess, the overall vibe from the driver's seat like?
I've got to be careful what I say because I didn't really enjoy myself tonight, to be honest. I obviously came into tonight knowing that Jason had pretty much wrapped up the title. I just wanted to finish second. That's all I wanted. I'd have been really happy with second. But there were 2 Excite drivers, 2 5-star drivers that I was up against. And with all of their teammates joining in and helping them, that meant it was about 10 drivers, I think, ganging up against me. And it really feels like I've gone however many rounds you go in a boxing match with a really good boxer. I should have thought about that analogy before I started it, but you know what I mean. I really felt like everyone was out to get me. I had so much contact. I was squeezed into walls. I was wrecked in the chase in one race at 130 miles an hour, and at times it really I wasn't particularly happy, but yeah, all came good in the end. I could not believe my eyes when the Excite cars drove into each other in that last race, and I just squeezed through because ultimately that's what got me second place.
There was a lot that we couldn't quite believe throughout the entire day of racing. One moment that does stick out to me is that race 3 finish with you and Casper. What was going on there?
Well, I was quite happily leading the race, and Casper very rudely decided to come and try and win the race instead. And it's just, I didn't really think that was on, to be honest. But yeah, I had no speed in that race, and I was very happy that they were fighting behind for most of it. I managed to get to the lead quite quick, but I just couldn't break out of the toe. I had no grip in that race for some reason. And yeah, Casper, the race was just 1 lap too long in the end. Casper got to me and got me at the last corner. And then, of course, I watched back the stream, and it did look like the race had gone on 1 lap too long. I don't think it did, but yeah, it was quite a confusing one.
Yeah, that was easily the most confusing race finish we've seen so far. Obviously, all of that stuff happened behind you guys. Yeah, that was definitely something. But the number 4 car, 2 wins in the season. What's the outlook then for the next season of BSR racing and whatever comes next for the upcoming months?
Well, I'll definitely be back. I need to have a word with the team. We need more cars. It's as simple as that. You know, you come to a track like this and in a situation like this where there are, championship positions on the line. And yeah, I miss having teammates. Colin's out there, obviously, but he's in the AM class and, doing his own thing. I need some more teammates to really take it to some of these big teams. So that's the plan in the off-season, all 2 or 3 weeks we get of it. I'm going to try and rally the troops and get a few more of them in here to help. And to bolster the grid, year 1 used to run 4, 5, 6 cars in this championship, so it'd be great to get them back. So yeah, so that's that. And then I'm also competing in this 3-hour endurance race in a week at the Nordschleife, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I wish we were covering that one, but it's going to be a lot of fun to monitor that. And, I'm considering if I pop in an entry and join you guys. I don't know yet. It's going to be a busy Tuesday, of course. We have NARL later in the day. I don't know. And I'd probably wreck on lap 5. So if lap 5. I'm giving myself too much credit. Lap 1.
I wasn't going to say that. I am looking for a teammate, actually, so I don't know, I might be willing to... I was going to say give you a second go, but I didn't perform much better at Bathurst either, so yeah, maybe we should team up again.
Yeah, make it all of 6 corners. You know what? If we could get to Arenberg, I would be impressed. At that point, I would be impressed with either of us, especially the one that isn't in the car. Anyways, well, we'll save that for another day. A pretty good day of racing for you, Andy. How do you... I guess, if you can wrap the season into one word, how do you do it?
Stressful. Very,
Fair enough.
Very stressful. No, good fun. Really good fun. I can't do anything in one word. You should know that by now, Andrew. Really good fun. Great racing. Huge congrats to Jason. I mean, he's been a absolute monster out there. Again, he's just impossible to beat, I'm beginning to think. So yeah, huge congrats to him and all the other drivers. Yeah, here's to another good season in a few weeks' time.
Absolutely. Andy McEwen with another pretty good outlook, I think, on, retrospective there on the season. Buddy, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on a season well done. 2nd place in the standings. That's got to feel pretty good at the end of the day.
Yeah, not bad. A lot of hard work to get there, but not bad at all. I forgot one thank you as well. Thank you to you guys. I know how hard it is to put these broadcasts on, and you've done a mega job. You're brand new to this championship and the TCR championship this season. You've done a really good job. Everyone's really positive about it, so yeah, well done, guys.
Certainly do appreciate all the kind words, and really do appreciate being welcomed in with such warm arms here to the British Sim Racers and the 2 championships we've broadcast this season. It's been proper fun. Buddy, congratulations once more. We'll talk to you next season, I'm sure.
Yep, excellent stuff. See you soon, guys.
That's Andy McEwen, a good way to wrap up the season here at JP. Have we gone through the results yet? I don't think we have we?
I don't think so. So yeah, there we go. The final results of the season. Adam Delman's gonna get the final win of the season, the final win of the final race, I guess you can say. So there you go. 1st place goes to him. Chris Knox is gonna finish 2nd place. James Neve in 3rd. So that's our final overall podium. Casper DeCourt is gonna finish in 4th place ahead of Jason Cooper, obviously our pro and overall champion. Andy McEwen, who you just spoke to, is gonna finish in 6th place. Glenn Humberson is gonna grab the final pro-am victory of the season in 7th. Lars Fisher is going to finish in 8th place ahead of Ben Williams and Tom Griffiths.
Finishing 11th in the final race of the season, and that's the 44 of Thoratullo. Alistair Hatcher with the amateur race win, 12th. Paul Donkin there in 13th. That's 2nd place in Pro-Am, if you can believe it. We've gotten pretty used to the Pro-Ams mixing it up with the pros up in the front, but not so in this 4th and final race of the season. 4th and final race of the day. Lee Holmes follows up Fiona Siddons there, 14th and 15th. Mark Oliver, 16th. Colin Sansom, 17th after his contact with Craig Schill. Liam Silkstone grabs the championship, but falls down to the 19th position in the order when it's all said and done. And Michael Seal wraps up your top 20 in the final race of the season.
21st place will go to James Clark, ahead of Nick Klibes in 22nd, Julian Shaw in 23rd, Douglas Stewart in 24th, Nathan Davies in 25th, and Michael Lees in 26. And Andrew, those are the guys that were not able to finish the final race of the season.
With a season in the books, it's time to look forward to what's next, and this is what's next. We talked about it a little bit earlier on. Daytona later this evening. In fact, in less than 3 hours, we have got North American Racing League coverage from the Daytona International Speedway. Porsche Cup racing coming at you. Oh boy, I'm excited to see how they do at Daytona of all places. It's the first of 2 Rovals in that season as well. We've got the Daytona Road Course, which really is a Roval, and the Charlotte Roval later on in the year. Wednesday evening, tomorrow evening, it's the Outlaw Sim Series from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Mosport, as it's more affectionately known. Such a great racetrack as well. Adding into the road racing theme this week, it's going to be a lot of fun with those NASCAR Next Gen cars. Thursday, we do it all over again with the BSR boys and girls. We've got touring cars at Mount Panorama. I don't know how else to get you excited. That's got to be fun. We saw what happened today with the Miatas. The fact that we're bringing touring cars here later on this week is going to be insane. I mean, proper great racing, I think, and certainly some big spills around the way. I've never done a front-wheel drive car here at Bathurst, but yeah, it's going to be something else. And of course, next week we got more racing as well, all coming to you via our social channels and our YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and you can follow along there at the bottom.
Absolutely, you can see the links, obviously, for you to type to follow us. Obviously, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for coverages. Facebook as well with the live stream, but obviously coverages, updates, post-race content for you guys. So obviously highlights on facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, and obviously YouTube and Twitch for live coverages of the race at youtube.com/pitstoptv1.
So, 36 races, 9 weeks of racing in the books here on Trophy Tuesdays, which means we get to get ready for touring cars on Thursday. We certainly hope you'll join us for that one. It's going to be a properly good day of racing. I very much excited for it. This entire season has blown me away. We didn't really know what to expect coming in, but whatever expectations we had, they've been blown out of the water each and every week. It's been properly good racing each and every time that we've come out with these guys, and all of the British courses on the season. Let's go ahead and pull up that schedule one more time. Donington Park, Brands Hatch, Knock Hill, Snetterton, Silverstone, and Brands Hatch again. Really, really good racetracks. Throw in Spa, Daytona, and Mount Panorama. 3 big drafting racetracks in these Miatas, and even the touring cars, I think. Just insane stuff. Really, really good stuff the entire season long. And certainly has been a lot of fun. For all of us here at Pit Stop TV, we've certainly enjoyed having you along for the ride. We thank you for sticking through this extended post-race coverage. We certainly hope you enjoyed our coverage of the season and our coverage today at Bathurst. A few things threw us for a loop, certainly surprised us in a few different ways, but we did our best to keep up with it, and hopefully it was easily enjoyed. Hopefully it was a fun time. We've certainly had fun, and we look forward to next season of British Sim Racers and their MX-5 and touring car action, or whatever it may be. We don't quite know just yet. Thanks for being along. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.